Greetings and salutations, friends. Well, this has certainly been a week, hasn't it? Good God. where to begin? Unironically, where to begin? We've got the, Oh, was that it? Hello, V. How are you doing today?
Ta-da! It's, am I late?
No, you're just on time.
Perfect. Are we live?
Yep.
Oh, goddamn. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today, V?
I've been wounded. They managed to suspend me from Twitter.
That is true. You did deserve it. You objectified a woman.
A right-winger actually managed to do it.
Wow. Good on the right. It managed to cancel Bud Light, and now V. The war against degeneracy moves forward.
Oh, God, you know, like that's the thing with the war against degeneracy. Like everyone that shade me for my really peculiar tastes in liking women with big boobs, horrible, I know. But everyone was into something worse than I was when I went on their website. Well, on their timeline, I mean.
Oh, like I said, a big part of the culture war is making sure that your kinks are something to be proud of, and other kinks is something to be ashamed of.
The worst case was like a guy that called me an obnoxious pervert, right? So I go on his timeline, and he was into gay furry diaper porn fetish.
Very refined, very refined.
It is. And all I said, like, for those of you who haven't seen Arch's video, like, I just made the statement. I would pay $90 for any video gaming company that has, like, a big-breasted female character in their game. Like, that was the statement. 2.4 million views.
That is one part. Oh, God, yeah. God damn it, where to even begin again? I'm presuming you've been paying attention, because what do we got this week? We have Disney fires their head of diversity. We have Ocean Gate, the submarine that couldn't. We have Disney announcing that Rey will be the main character in the upcoming Disney film. That is, she will train a new generation of female Jedi. We have the Russian military coup that happened and then unhappened, and right now is a little bit up in the air as to whether it is happening or not happening.
So is it on or is it off?
Exactly. And we've got Hunter Biden as well, who got slapped with, I think, 6 counts of not paying taxes, along with multiple tax fraud charges, in addition to the leak that appears to show him contacting the chairman of China to be like, pay up, bruh, or I'll get my daddy to beat you up.
Yeah, but this is the distraction, Arch.
I mean, somebody's distracting from something. It's gonna be huge.
No, like, I love it. You know, like, every single fucking time there's, like, some news that's out there, it's like, oh, this is a distraction from... You know what? I say that the Hunter Biden is a distraction from Disney.
Maybe we haven't seen what we're distracting from yet.
You know what? They're distracting from my post on Twitter. How about that?
All right, hold on.
I have lost.
All right.
Hold on. So, if a Russian civil war... Hunter Biden being a pervert and a criminal, Disney firing the head of diversity, and the entire Ocean Gate scandal are all diversions. So we're talking about something even bigger than all of this combined.
Yes, my Twitter post.
I think right now, North America is probably being invaded by aliens.
You know what? Like, there are people who legitimately believe that, because, like, there were some meetings with the Senate in the U.S., I believe. Like, they were called for, like, some secret meetings and shit.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of American military deployments as well. So yeah, I think that's the conclusion. Right now, North America is being invaded by hostile aliens. That is the only acceptable explanation for all of this.
Question: why are there 2 live streams on your channel? So we got the ArchCast, the Russia Civil War, blah blah blah, and then we have another one, Starship Troopers Exterminatus, and they're both live.
That one should have been dead ages ago. Okay, let me see. Check the YouTube backend.
It says live, but
it says it's offline on my end, so it's probably just YouTube being fat and stupid and slow to update. I'm guessing.
Okay, all right.
Right. Okay. So as we begin, let's see here.
Do you think the aliens upset the Biden regime, and the Biden regime were like, "All right, enough, all of you, you got to go home now."
Or maybe the Biden regime upset the aliens. We don't know yet.
Who's more powerful?
So let's do the couple of super chats whilst we're here, then we'll get to it. Slutenhoff says, I look forward to that new Philip Malo movie. Looks like a film for real men. That is true. They are rebooting the Marlowe or Malloy or whatever series of crime thriller book thingies recently. So we'll see how that works out. It's starring Liam Neeson, so that's certainly something.
I do not know who these people are.
Oh, it's a pretty old
Heresy's the question.
book series thing.
Fire is the answer.
Like really, really old.
Do you think they're going to start making new stuff without like remaking old stuff?
No. Basin says, modern female video game protagonists look more and more inbred every day. Correct.
Like I really love the fact that there were people. It's like, you know that female game character you call ugly is modeled by a real person, and I'm like, yeah, real people exist in real life, dipshit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I have to spend $70 to see them. Yeah, I can just see them for free. You expect me to give you cash, okay? Like I work hard, I slave over a hot computer, and you want my money.
I'm not interested in watching real people in my escapism. I'm
No.
interested in watching
No.
pretty people.
Yes. God.
Blue Grimgrin says, one thing I have learned, anyone who says they understand Russia or this war is lying deliberately or otherwise. Also, the roasting timeline is funny. So,
I tried.
I did pseudo-call this some months back in that I said that there was a lot of tension between the two parties in the Russian army right now, Wagner and the main military and the Chechens. But I did not think it would go quite this far. I figured it would just remain an internal political conflict, but no. Zephyr
So from
says,
what I
as a
see-
woman,
oh.
I don't want to be represented in video games. I'm too fat and old. Young hot chicks, please. This we can all agree on.
Heresy's the question.
Tell me if I'm right with the
Fire is the
timeline.
answer.
So initially, you have the mercenaries complaining that they're not getting ammunition, that they're being sent to difficult battles, and in response, Putin asks that all mercenaries sign contracts with the military so that like it's under his command. And a lot of militaries didn't like the pay cut from 10,000 to 1,000, right? So some of them said yes, but the Wagner said no. And in response, they threw a missile on them. Like, please correct me if the chain of events is correct, right? And then they get upset and they march over to Moscow and they're almost there. But then the president of Belarus gets involved. And they're like, all right, well, we'll chill for now.
Well, that's the thing. So, Techno Wizard also donates $10 without a message, so either YouTube yeeted it or he didn't send one. Thank you, regardless, very much, sir, for your donation. So, what appeared to have caused this, according to Wagner themselves, as after Prigozhin, the owner of the Wagner Group, said that his encampment had been attacked in the middle of the night by regular Russian army forces, killing a, quote, huge amount of his men, and that he was going to destroy any resistance to the Wagner Group and he was going to march on Moscow. Which he did. In fact, they seized the primary logistical hub nearby, and they were even seen talking with the Russian regular military commanders in the region. Just chilling, literally. They were seen talking together, walking together, etc., as if nothing was happening. And then they started driving towards Moscow, where there were unconfirmed videos of the Wagner column being attacked by airstrikes, but very much so unconfirmed. And now, it seems as if the entire thing has been called off. But interestingly is, so this seems to be coming near exclusively from Twitter. A couple of hours ago, this started breaking. He said, we are turning our columns around, going back to field camps. Wagner Chief Yezhnev Prigozhin, or something like that, announced after vowing to march on Moscow to topple the military leadership. He said he understood the importance of the moment and did not want to spill Russian blood. There are multiple reports like this now, so who even knows? There are also reports that the Wagner PMC is still operating in the streets of Rostov as well. So we're not entirely sure what exactly is happening. So it appears true that Prigozhin has announced that he's stopping his thing. But there's also reports that a bunch of the Wagner group is not happy with this and continuing on regardless. There's also rumors going around that Prigozhin, after talks with the Belarusian Prime Minister, Alexander Lukashenko, is apparently heading to some sort of exile in Belarus, as he's heading to the airport now, supposedly. And there's
Devo
Dev
is
too.
here. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm talking about the Russians.
Yeah, I dumped a bunch of stuff in the private chat. You guys see it?
Let's see.
A whole ton of links of stuff that's been happening overnight. Cause
Oh, you mean in the other channel, not in Arch's? Yeah.
yeah. Basically, like I had gotten all my ducks in a row to do a stream with Lilith on the submarine, and right when we hit go live, all of this stuff started happening with Russia last night, and I was like, god damn it. The news cycle
Wow.
just moved on.
I told you it's a
I've-
distraction. I told you it's a distraction.
I gotta stop
You
you
think so?
right there, Dev.
Okay.
Define for me the difference between a submarine and a submersible.
The submersible is
don't know.
tinier.
That is not the difference, Survey.
I think like the submersible is less maneuverable.
No, that's not it either.
The depth that it can go to.
The death? Well, it certainly did go to death, that's true. But no, that's not it either. In fact, the deepest dive in history was conducted by a submersible.
I didn't say that. I said like the depth is the difference.
The death. No, submarines have exploded too.
Was it the
fact
size,
that one
maybe?
has the
Nope.
torpedoes? Like one has
Nope.
torpedoes and
No?
so it's not the maneuverability, it's not the depth. The thing that it's built out of?
Nope.
Oh fuck off. There's no other explanation. Like we went through all
There
of it.
is.
Is it that it has a porthole?
Nope. What the fucking porthole?
Yeah.
I have lost.
As in a window you can look
One
at.
one is connected to a little boat and the other one isn't.
That's the closest you've gotten.
See, I did it.
The difference between a submarine and a submersible is that a submarine can carry out its operations under its own power. It can dive, it can rise, it can return to port, it can exit port. It's entirely self-reliant. Whilst a submersible requires a host vessel or some sort of mobile dock or predetermined operating area to function.
And this was a submersible.
This was a submersible, yes.
I see. Do we know when it imploded? Because there were like news that people were
Service
banging for like 30
guarantees
minutes
citizenship.
intervals.
Yeah,
Well,
ended
what was up with
being-
that?
That ended up being false. Yeah.
We will get to that, but let's concentrate on Russia first. So let's
Alright.
Alright.
get
Alright,
one
I have
enormous
lost.
thing
Shit.
out of the way first.
All right. Do you think it was a psyop? Because this is what people are saying. Like they fake the coup so that the Ukrainians advance and then they can encircle them.
Well,
They can circle.
there has been some interesting little rumors.
there
has been some interesting little silence kick. So let me send you a link here in the links channel. You might remember a couple of days ago, the Pentagon announced that they had $6.2 billion to spare.
Mm-hmm.
And, well,
They lost it,
Wagner...
is what I heard.
Oh, no, they didn't lost it. The
Oh.
opposite, in fact. They had miscounted the amount of supplies they sent to Ukraine, or the value of the supplies, so that they'd budgeted for more than they'd actually sent. So they actually had 6.2 billion more in the budget in Ukrainian aid. And Wagner is a mercenary group.
So
It is.
you think that America just paid him off?
I mean, see, here's the thing. Like, it sounds ridiculous, and it probably is, but what country on earth has the longest history of organizing military
I
coups
have
in other
lost.
people's countries?
The thing with the Wagner, I looked into them. Yes, they're a mercenary group, but at the same time, Russia uses them in order to have deniability. So like they will deploy them in a place, and it's like, oh, it's just a little green man. Like we're not connected to them in any way. And it's also so that they can lower the casualties number. So like if you have like a military, it's getting a lot of casualty. It looks bad in the news, but well, they're mercenary casualties, so it's viewed differently.
Yes, that is absolutely part of it as well. Deniability and the fact that they're not actually like Russian army. That is also part of it.
Yes. Yeah. But now it bit them in the ass.
Because I personally, I don't believe in the whole conspiracy that this was America.
No.
I don't believe that. I think because this has been simmering for quite some time. There's been a great deal of tension between Prigozhin and the Russian military command. Like, we've seen this for months now, that the two sides have kind of been sniping at each other. But this was a very sudden and rapid escalation. And for anyone saying that this was like a big psyop or something as well, I mean, Putin seems to have believed it. They were deploying defensive positions outside of Moscow. They were closing the streets. They were mobilizing the police and the military around the area. This was one hell of a song and dance for a psyops.
There's rumor that Putin have left Moscow. Although Moscow denies it. Yeah.
There was a sudden and large-scale uptick in private aircraft traffic out of Moscow airport, suggesting that people with money decided to GTFO, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was that one report about Belarus's president fleeing to Turkey. How true was that? Do you guys see that?
I don't think so, because the other report states that it was the Belarusian president who initiated talks.
I have lost
with Wagner and got them to back down. So probably not.
It's one of those things where in the past 24 hours, it seems like a bunch of stuff has come out, and we're just waiting for it to be debunked or not.
Yes, the last 30 or so hours have been crazy. Because again, I mean, Putin made official statements about this, like calling them traitors and shit, like how they were backstabbing everyone else and so on. And they even introduced a brand new law stating that they could punish traitors, quote unquote, far more harshly than regular military regulations would suggest. So it seems like somebody was panicking.
I'm really curious what did the negotiations went like, but like probably Wagner may not have expected the Belarus to intervene. And he was like, yeah, we can take Moscow, we can hold here and here, but it's like, oh shit, now Belarus is coming after us.
Well, here's the thing. What a lot of people fail to often realize around this is that Moscow is a goddamn fortress city. Not only does it have a significant military presence, it also has a police force which is militarized to a point that it makes the American police force look downright peaceful by comparison. So, taking it, even if you take Prigozhin's claim that he had 25,000 men, etc., it wouldn't be easy. Nor would it be quick, either.
What if some of the forces refuse to fight, though? Because like you're talking about a civil war, and some of the Russians there may be sympathetic to the Wagner group, and maybe that's what he was counting on.
Entirely possible, because it seemed like the first city, Rostov, was it, that he entered, the military there seems to have just kind of surrendered, or at least not fought, as there was no reports of fighting. There doesn't appear to have been any damage done, at the very least I've seen none documented, etc. And you saw Wagner Group officials in talks with the military leaders of the area. So presumably they just kind of like went like, okay, well, we're on your side or something.
It's not just that. Here, I'll post this in which link channel? Yeah, I'll put it in the link channel.
Yep, link channel above would be nice.
So there's a bunch of videos like this coming out where you see the citizens of Rostov. They're all buddy with Wagner. They're very happy about this. This was before Wagner announced that they weren't in fact marching on Moscow. But when it seemed like they were going to actually fight the Russian government, people in Rostov seemed very happy about it. They were completely on side.
Yes. And now more footage are coming out that they aren't as happy after all, presumably because of the negotiations surrender, or the announcement that they wouldn't be going to Moscow, etc.
Can you imagine if your face is one of those videos cheering, and then it's like, it's not on, it's off?
Well, because the question then becomes, of course, how popular is Putin really? And I would have said, like, before the Ukraine war, I would say very. But now, like, the Ukraine war has been an enormous L for Putin. Because he has completely and miserably failed in taking out Ukraine quickly. And there seems to be no resolution in sight. Like, I want to point out, too, even with Wagner Group abandoning the front line, throwing the Russian logistical system into complete chaos, screwing over their leadership system, and sending Putin and Moscow into a panic, Ukraine doesn't seem to have done much with it as of yet. Probably because they're not in a position to be able to do so. Even like the Grand Offensive has done, well, pretty much exactly what I said it would do. Seize a couple 100 meters here and there and then peter out.
It's interesting because would like this actually increase Putin's popularity because he actually managed to defuse the situation?
Possibly, but it could also be the reverse, in that people now see how fragile the regime appears
Service
to be.
guarantees citizenship.
Yeah, I wonder if the Ukrainians are just kind of taking it slow because they don't want to be caught off guard, right? Because what if it actually was just a giant psyop designed to make the Ukrainians launch a move that they couldn't actually support?
Entirely possible. Like, we are attributing maybe a little bit much intelligence here to the Russians, because what we're suggesting at that point is like a 4D chess move. Like, we're talking a Hannibal at Kane move, where they fake an enormous, like, retreat and upheaval in their ranks, only to slam shut the jaws of the trap. I don't think Russia has the ability to do that. But it is theoretically possible, and, you know, being in the command bunker in Ukraine, I could definitely see them being nervous of that. Just sitting there like, is this really happening? Like, do we know?
I mean, I usually you do this type of maneuver, you know, like a fake route when the enemy is either attacking or when you're on your home territory.
Yeah, or it could just have been a giant attempt to, you know, upset the balance of the war to hopefully get something done. But again, I think
Heresy's the
that's
question. Fire is the
attributing
answer.
a little bit much in the way of planning to the Russian command in this case, honestly.
Yeah.
But as of right now, none, as far as I can see, of the mainstream news sources are reporting on the negotiated end of the coup. Has any of you seen any of the like big news sources reporting on it?
I haven't.
I don't think so. No.
Because the last one I saw now is the Washington Examiner announced that Moscow may declare Monday a non-work day as
Service
Wagner
guarantees
forces
citizenship.
advance towards city. Because all of the announcement I've seen of the coup being over has happened on Twitter at the moment.
Here we go. USA Today, 1 hour
Service
ago.
guarantees citizenship.
Let me just post this in the.
But think about it this way: if it wasn't true, wouldn't we already have fighting now? Like, wouldn't people, you know, like record with their smartphones and upload on the internet and stuff?
Possibly. There was that one unconfirmed footage of an airstrike on the Wagner column, which was then reported to splinter into 3 columns, advancing on Moscow in 3 directions, presumably to minimize the threat of airstrike.
What a
Was that
what a
confirmed, though?
wild.
Go on.
I haven't heard anything about that myself. It's just wild to think that we are going to live in an era where we can actually watch a war being waged through cell phone videos uploaded to YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, you can't
Yep.
really. You can't. They're banned. But
Okay,
basically,
not
I
YouTube.
mean,
Some other site though. Some other site will have it. You know.
but even then, like both sides, like the war in Ukraine, you don't really get that much footage, and when you do get it, it's like 20 or 30 seconds, and it's usually out of context. Like you don't even know who's fighting who. Like they can tell you it's like, oh well, this is from Ukraine, and may like actually be from a different conflict, like Georgia from years ago, and there's no way of knowing.
Or a goddamn video game, as certain things happen to do.
Oh fuck, that was funny.
But right, here's the from the USA Today. Wagner chief Prigozhin to leave for Belarus, Putin spokesman says. Prigozhin said that he arrived within 200 kilometers of Moscow before agreeing to turn around. Agreeing to turn around is the interesting part of it. That Wagner soldiers who participated in the armed rebellion would receive security guarantees and not face prosecution, etc. So it sounds a little bit like there was some frenzied negotiation, and that ended in basically a bribe, saying like, okay, we're gonna do some things, we're gonna pay you some money, none of your people will be charged, please back off. Maybe. Because there's also been rumors going around that one of the main things that Prigozhin wanted was shakes-ups in the uppermost levels of Russian military command, which he repeatedly called incompetent and inept. And there are rumors going around, I stress rumors, that these changes are being made and have been promised, but who knows? Because if that is true, then it seems as if this was a victory for Prigozhin.
It is interesting because there was a case a couple of weeks ago where an officer wanted to gather the men to have like a moral speech, a rallying speech to raise their morale. And he was 2 hours late, and the men were shelled by Ukrainian artillery. So the Russians bloggers were really pissed off at that.
Simultaneously, though, you've also got another news alert. Now, this is a couple hours old, saying Putin vows harsh punishment as Russian troops rebel against
Service
country.
guarantees citizenship.
There's also Artemis is sending me something. Footage of what appears to be a downed Russian helicopter, suggesting that fighting is currently happening.
I saw something similar actually. It's a little bit different though. Let me just dig it up. Yeah, Lila sent me some stuff too. Here. This is a downed plane.
Yep, I saw that one. Now, in this case, the issue is there's no way to know if this is recent footage, if this is old footage, if this is happening now, if this happened a week ago, if this is even in Russia or Ukraine, etc., or God knows.
I think like the way to know is like if it actually happens, you would have like a lot of footage coming out. If it's just like one footage, then it's suspicious. And even then, if it's like, okay, well, they just shot down a helicopter or something. I mean, yeah, it's significant, but it wouldn't be like large scale combat, which is what would happen if they went into Moscow.
That is true. There's also the possibility that elements of the Wagner Group, as some people reported, don't like the deal and are just continuing on by themselves. That's also possible.
Yeah, but are they mentally challenged? Like, what are you going to do? Like, let's say you have like, I don't know, 5,000 men.
Fire is the answer.
Can you take Moscow with 5,000 men?
Probably not. And even if you took Moscow, so what? Like, Putin's probably got like
Yeah.
7 private aircraft. Like, he wouldn't be there.
Didn't Napoleon take Moscow?
He did, and then the Russians burned it.
See, this is what I thought that they may even try now. Like if the Wagner Group went in and Putin actually left, like they could actually allow them to take it and then encircle them.
Possibly.
So even if they didn't actually have any sort of deal, because as far as I understand, Wagner has 50,000 men. Would that even be enough to take Moscow anyway?
Well, not by itself, probably not. Because again, Moscow is a goddamn fortress city. Not only does it have military forces nearby, it also has an enormous and well-armed police force. So the question would basically be if the military backed Putin or if they backed Prigozhin. And that was a big question because Prigozhin is far more popular than Putin amongst the military right now, because the Wagner Group appears to have been the only Russian military force that have actually, done something, that have pulled off some victories in Ukraine. Like, when he says that the Russian military leadership is incompetent, I mean, who disagrees?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The Chechens.
The Chechens, yeah, probably, because they're the ones in charge.
But it's interesting. Like, if they would have taken Moscow, then what? And the question is, like Arch says, well, they have like military police and stuff, and they do. But like, who are they going to be loyal to? That's another question.
Mm-hmm. That is the question.
Usually, they're loyal to who pays the cash, right?
Yes, and well, if we circle on back to the Pentagon's missing 6.2 billion. See, this is mostly a meme. I don't believe it, but it is also true that the CIA has instituted
Service
a fair
guarantees
few
citizenship.
regime changes over the years. So
Yeah, but so does the KGB. Like, this is what really bothers me about like
That's
the
true.
communists on Twitter, who are like, oh my god, every single time a communist state fails, Russia is not communist, but they consider every time communism fails, the CIA was there, and like, doesn't the communists have their own secret service groups and shit? Like, why exactly is it that the Americans are so tsuyoi? So like, okay, well then you need a capitalist country in order to be tsuyoi enough to do regime change. Like, communists just can't fucking do it.
there we go. The first of the major mainstream sources, NBC has just also made an article about half an hour ago, which says criminal cases will be dropped, Prigozhin will not be accused of treason, and that the column has stopped. So this appears to be the latest officially, quote-unquote, confirmed news.
I wonder how you justify this to the public, though. Like, you go to the public and you go, okay, he's enemy number one. Actually, weird.
Well, yes. Yeah, like, how does Putin explain this? Like, because this is going to be a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? So, a major military force marched on Moscow and wasn't stopped by military measures, but they simply just elected to stop by themselves. It's going to make Putin look very weak, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I guess like he can say like right now we need to focus on one conflict and we don't want brothers to fight against brothers. I suppose like that's what he can come up with.
Yeah, he can spin it as being a deal maker.
So
Here, check that out, Arch.
All right. Yep.
This is a bit older, but it does show the map of how far they got.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Actually, the live version has a better map. Here, hold on.
Voronezh.
I will just link you the image itself because the rest of the article's junk. But there's the image.
Approximate distance before turning back. Okay, yeah, so they did get pretty close.
And there was a video coming out of Rostov. They were being welcomed. There was a bit of fighting I heard in whatever that V city that I can't pronounce, starts with a V. And that one, there was a bit of fighting, but they pretty much just took it.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like they were getting to Moscow unopposed, or mostly unopposed.
Yep. So there's more highly unconfirmed, mind you, but interesting reports here. The Prosecutor General's office has found procedural inconsistencies in the decision of the FSB to open a criminal case against Yevgeny Prigozhin. I butchered these names. So the FSB is basically their secret police thingy, and they have found procedural inconsistencies. Like, that tends to be politician speak for somebody did something we don't like anymore, and we're probably going to yeet him.
I see.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It is,
I have lost. Shit.
Let's see. 3 Mi-8 helicopters, one other Mi-8, a Ka-52, an Mi-35, and an Il-28 aircraft are the ones that are reported to have been destroyed, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a video with Prigozhin, which actually does say that they shot down a helicopter.
Yep, there also is footage appearing to show the shooting down of helicopters as well.
How do you justify this to the family of the dead? It's like, yeah, they got shot. Are they going to go to prison? No.
Well, they might have ejected.
Oh, okay. I found the deal. Possibly. It's on Twitter, so who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
This
think you
is-
can eject out of a helicopter, Arch.
You can.
Can you?
Through the rotor. But there's the deal that apparently they're getting.
You know what? Like, you could probably have like a system that pushes you sideways rather than up.
Let's
Drops
see.
you at the bottom.
Kremlin spooks.
No,
Dimitri
not at
Vesco.
the bottom. Like, you'd still die horribly if it goes wrong. But imagine, like, if you have like an ejection system in a helicopter that pushes you to the left, like just pushes you with the chair as hard as possible to left or
Just
right.
out the out the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Yeah, it might work.
What do you think, Arch? He's going to curse at me if I tell him this one day. He's going to consider me stupid.
I have a feeling that if the helicopter is spinning and still falling, you'll just go into the rotor anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're total.
probably.
No. They blow the rotor off.
Well,
Oh yeah, makes sense. If they're
Yes.
falling and there's an ejection,
Yeah, there's no point in the rotor anymore at that point. I don't know if it's standard, but the KF-5050 has it. I'm pretty sure the Apache has it. They just have an explosive charge that detaches the propeller.
because I was
Okay.
thinking, like, if it pushes you sideways, left or right, then you should be fine. But, like, yeah, you need to blow the rotor off first.
So, according to what Dev found here, charges dropped against Prigozhin. That seems right, because he seems to be fine. He seems to have announced that he's leaving for Belarus, who will leave Russia for Belarus. So, in some form of exile, basically. Wagner fights who didn't take part in the uprising will sign contracts with the MOD. So that basically forces them back to start one. So maybe Prigozhin sold out Wagner Group. Wagner fights who did take part are not charged. No words on potential MOD leadership changes. So he claims that there is no word of leadership changes in the Russian army.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Did he sold them off, or were they like, look, you ought to take the city, right? Now we have this many units, and Belarus is coming with this many units, and China is a little bit pissed. So,
Service
do you really
guarantees
want to do this?
citizenship.
I mean, it sounds like a bribe to me. It's like he's got no opposition. He's marching on Moscow essentially unopposed. And then suddenly it's over. His own dudes don't know what's happening. Nobody knows what is happening. And he's flying out to Belarus within the hour, etc. It sounds like somebody received a nice big fat check in his bank account.
A big sack of money trailing behind the plane.
It does sound that way.
Either that, or they were like, okay, we'll drop the charges, and you go back and you keep fighting.
Yep, and that might also explain why some Wagner soldiers are apparently not happy with this, because if this essentially ends with him signing them over to the Russian army regardless, then nothing has changed, really. Like, Wagner will still be a part of the Russian army, just like they tried to protest against. The only thing that's changed is that Prigozhin is now sitting in a villa in Belarus atop what is presumed to be an enormous fat stack of cash.
Heresy's the
Yeah,
question.
it just seems like
Fire is the answer.
this is exactly what he didn't want to happen to Wagner, and now it's happening to it.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting to avoid this exact outcome, and now this exact outcome is happening. Only he's leaving the front lines.
Harrison,
Yes.
So it
the
does
question.
seem like he
Fire is the
got bought
answer.
out. Yeah.
It does seem that
I mean,
way.
either that or he just realized the writing on the wall. Like, even if he took Moscow, there's no way he wins a protracted fight against the
Yep.
Russian government.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I can't exactly rule Russia, even if I do take Moscow, so I'm just gonna leave.
Yep. So I'm gonna take the deal and I'm gonna GTFO.
Yep.
Hardly the dumbest decision you can make considering the circumstances. I'm assuming we'll get some more news coming out of this over the next few days and hours. But yeah, I think that is our current conclusion. Our armchair general speculation. He got bought out, yo.
What was really funny is that Callum was in Rostov a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should have stayed a
And
bit longer. He would have gotten some serious clicks from this.
If you watch his video, there's like some things that are almost comically out of date from his roster. Like, it's not his fault, obviously. He didn't know, but like it's funny watching it now because there's like he's talking about the stability of the Russian government and what
lost.
Wagner's like and all this stuff, and like none of it fits anymore. It's just
Yeah.
funny how it works.
No, like there were cracks between Wagner and the Russian governments months and months back. I remember talking about it briefly. Because again, Wagner was the only one who actually managed to do something in Ukraine, and that did give Prigozhin a great deal of popularity, which is why he managed to get into Rostov without a shot being fired, and why he apparently traveled several hundred kilometers on the highway to Moscow without getting shot at.
Well, again, allegedly, they had said that they sent people to shoot at them, but they refused to follow orders.
There was the rumor, yes, that helicopter gunships had been dispatched to intercept the convoys and that they had refused to fire at them, which would make sense because Wagner would still, of course, be using their IFF codes from the Russian army. So all the helicopter pilots would see is a convoy full of what appears to be Russian soldiers flashing the correct identification code and probably then going like, are you sure?
Well, either that, or they would be like, well, there's gonna be a civil war. Like, are we on the right side of history?
Yep. Like, do I want to push the trigger here? But this is also going to do some serious damage to the Russian war machine, of course, in Ukraine. Presumably, a great deal of Wagner will return to the army, presumably. But without the Wagner group being organized in the way it was, they're probably not going to be the same force on the battlefield anymore. And if they simply get rolled into the rest of the Russian army, well, as we have seen, they have appeared to be, well, shit. So...
Why do you think the Ukrainians aren't making advances with all the new tech they got from NATO?
Oh, it's because it's not that fucking easy. Like, literally. It's the same reason why Russia didn't manage to beat Ukraine out quickly. It's because attacking in modern war is hard.
I think it's also that it takes a long time to get trained on some of this stuff. Like, some of it takes a year, right?
Yes.
And they haven't had it for much more than a year, so...
Yes.
Isn't that like the World War I problem?
There's also the fact that a lot of people hear about the Leopard, and the Leopard's like, oh my god, Leopard's really good, Leopard's amazing. Yes, but the thing is, most Western vehicles, they're not designed to be impervious to enemy weapons. Like, they don't just bounce ATGMs and anti-tank tank shots, etc. They explode too. It's just that they explode in such a way as to allow the crew and the passengers to live. Like, the vehicle's still totaled. We haven't yet managed to invent a weapon with force fields, sadly.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Do they really want a weapon with force fields like that? That sounds awful.
I'll tell you this, though. The drone warfare shit, if any one of you have seen that, I hate that so much. I hate it. It takes all of the what little glory remains and honorable combat out of warfare. Like, I saw one clip.
Fucking hell, Arch. Jesus fucking... People found a way to kill themselves without actually dying, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
and you're like,
it's
well, people
such...
don't die. The glory, nah.
It is such a video game now. I saw one clip of people, they ran a suicide drone into a Russian soldier's head and it exploded, and you just, it's just a bunch of dudes sitting around playing video games with them. Like, you hear the token chick giggling as the other one's like, oh my god, headshot, lol, 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 lol. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I hate this.
So basically,
It's actually really
what
funny.
what you actually hate isn't necessarily the fact that there's no glory. It's that the detachment, right? Like, but let's put it the other way around, right? Let's say you're piloting a helicopter, an Apache or some shit, and you see some people down there and you light them up. Isn't that like kind of the same? Like you're just pressing a button and it's not
is.
like mano a mano.
It's also kind of the same with if you're an artillery crew. You're 20 miles behind the front and you pull a cord and like boom. But like it reduces war to this completely dispassionate thing. It's not war anymore. It's a
Service
video
guarantees
game.
citizenship.
And again, like, I'm not blaming the Ukrainians or the Russians for doing it. It's an effective weapon. Obviously, you're going to use it. But I look at that and I just get chills because when we arrive at the point where warfare becomes that automated, we are not going to have any problems with starting war anymore. And the poor fuckers who do get caught up in it, well, they will literally just be the lol, look at that guy explode. Like, we will be so detached, so cynical, so cold against it, that human life will just be nothing at that point. It'll literally be
pretty
pixels
sure
on the
that
screen.
one of your ancestors, like back in the day when the guns were invented, were like, we can't even kill people with our swords anymore.
Oh, I'm
And
sure,
when
yeah.
the sword was invented, there was someone that's like, you can't kill people with our bare hands anymore.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, that is also true. Like, killing someone with a knife is obviously something that takes a lot more out of you mentally and physically than killing somebody with a gun. Like, this is
Yeah.
obvious.
And then killing someone with your bare hands, it takes a lot more than just a knife.
Yes, and I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, but I'm saying that if we arrive at the point of fully digitalized warfare, where you kill someone just on a computer screen, like, how long until that is all it is? Until it's just like pixels? Like, will you be able to identify with that person on the
Heresy's
screen
the
at
question.
all? Like, will you
Fire
have
is the answer.
any empathy at all for them at that point?
Yeah, because you have like the Trust and Safety Council, which is going to force you to have empathy, because otherwise you get banned from the military. So the HR lady can just look
I have
and
lost.
be like,
Shit.
all right, well, let's see the terms of service. Oh my god, you said a curse word while you lit this enemy up? Yeah, I 7 day suspension.
Well, unironically, we might need that. Because, okay, if you can't identify with the people you're targeting at all, what's to stop you from killing a civilian? Like, what's the difference at that point?
Oh, court martial.
Okay. But
Yeah,
but
it's not
then
good.
it's already over. Like, okay, so you're saying that, okay, there might be a legalistic response later on.
But isn't that how it works? Like right now, like soldiers have weapons, they can lit up civilians, but they get court-martialed. I mean,
Well, no, yes and no. Like, there's a great deal of leeway in this. As long as you're following the rules of engagement, and it can be proved that you have followed the rules of engagement, then accidents happen, as they say. I'm sure you heard about the U.S. Blowing up that hospital, for example, in Syria.
right, yeah. I mean, during Obama, that happened. It was hospitals, funerals. Sometimes not even accidents. It was like, well,
God,
the
and
guy
that's
we're
it.
after is at this funeral. So, well,
Yeah.
collateral damage.
Collateral damage. I remember watching a drone strike footage too, and there was just a dude somewhere in Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever, like some halalam, and he was just out riding his bike, and you saw footage from like 30,000 feet just zooming in on him, and then he just disappears in just a cloud of smoke, and you're like, wow, that. It is such a ridiculous thing, because that was a person, a real-life person who had no goddamn clue whatsoever he was about to be turned into tomato sauce, and then he just explodes.
You know, that's a bad way to go, because, like, if you think about it, all of us have to go sometime. And, like, dying of kidney failure, cancer, heart attack, that's painful. But, like, dying like that, it's just, like, it's over before you know it.
Yep. V would like to go via Predator drone, please.
Unironically, like, I was thinking about the sub thing recently, right? And I was like, everyone is like, well, they didn't feel anything. So,
That's true.
I mean, we don't know. But, like, let's assume, wouldn't this be, like, the most humane method of execution?
Via Predator drone or submersible?
Yeah, by a submersible to the Challenger Deep. I mean, you get to see the pretty sights and shit, and then it's like over, and you don't even know.
Is this going to be the segue into the next topic?
It will, but let me. Okay, so we have gotten a load of super chats, and I'm sure some of them will bring up like topics and stuff. So let's go
But
through
just
some
one
of them
question.
first.
Just a question for chat. Unironically, if you are on death row and you get to choose your method of execution, and you have
I have lost. Shit.
shot, you know, like you have like the appeal to be shot by a platoon of execution, or electric chair, or submersible. What would you choose?
Service guarantees
I think
citizenship.
I'd choose bullet to head. Honestly, I feel like that would probably be the quickest.
They actually give you to the heart, not to the hand.
Well, that's silly.
There is a state in the U.S. which apparently
I have
couldn't
lost.
obtain the drugs required for the lethal injection, so they allow prisoners to choose between getting shot to the heart or the electric chair.
Well, it seems like a terrible choice, honestly.
Yeah,
But
but like, what if
I
you have the
think-
submersible?
I would
That's the
choose
first
the
option.
most expensive option, just as a generalized last FU.
But like, it doesn't have to be expensive because like you don't really need to pilot it, right?
Yeah, but
You know,
still,
assuming it go.
you're gonna have to drive out to a depth where you could implode. Like, you're gonna have to burn a couple $100,000 in fuel to get there.
What if it doesn't work? Like a botched execution is you staying on the bottom of the ocean for like 4 days until you run out of food.
Well, you'll freeze to
Oh.
death a lot quicker than that.
I mean, you could set it up such that the way that you die is the most traumatizing for those around you as a final fuck you.
That too,
You
yeah.
know that? Do you know that apparently you don't really freeze to death because like the temperature was like -2 degrees Celsius. So if you have like some warm
have
clothing, you
lost.
can't survive -2 for 4 days. Like you
Yeah.
would die out of thirst before you would die out of cold.
Depends on how deep they were, because it gets real cold down there.
So apparently, no, because this is what I thought as well. It's like, oh well, it's going to be like -100, but no, it's actually like at Titanic level. So unless the website lied to me, it's like around -2, -5 degrees Celsius, which is pretty cold, but like homeless people survive. So
Yes, sort of, but -5 is not good.
it's really cold, yeah. But like if you have a jacket, you'll survive.
Did you make your super chat my face with a communist symbol?
Yes,
God damn it.
well, it's one of them. I have several now.
People are actually starting to believe this. It's not true.
I know. And you know what the best part is? The voice line that plays is the one I clipped from the last ArchCast where you say, I have lost shit.
Just to complete the chat, apparently like Challenger Deep doesn't freeze despite the fact that it's -0 is because of the pressure. Like you can't have the crystals forming.
Under pressure, water will stay liquid.
Even if it's under 0 degrees.
All right, let me get some of these super chats because I'm sure some of them might be reading at us, going like, "Didn't you see this? Didn't you know that?" And no chat, we knew nothing. Animate
I have
Acumen
lost.
says, "Hello, Arch. Hello, Animate Acumen. Good morning, even. Good day. Good evening. I don't know where you are. Tell me." Cino says, "So is this not a feint? They make as if to march on Moscow, not a retreat, but to move from their place only to launch a counterpincer. Again, it's theoretically possible, but I just don't think the Russians are that clever. I genuinely don't. It would be funny if they did, though. Like, that would be some serious Hannibal shit." TC Rock says, "War is always confusing, even to veterans." That is true. Taras Shvenko says, "Hey Arch, I have 2 questions. One, what will be the effect on Russian morale? I don't think having one of your allies run an armed rebellion and shooting down 6 helicopters and plane will help. And 2, what precedence is set for Russia?" Oh, that's a difficult question, isn't it? Because I bet you that, honestly, a lot of the Russian soldiers were probably cheering when they were told that Wagner was heading to Moscow. Because they don't like their leaders. They view their leaders as genuinely incompetent. Like, Prigozhin's view that the Russian military leadership is shit is quite widely held. So if anything, I think their morale might have taken a bigger hit when it was announced that they wouldn't march to Russia, and they would instead just be turned around and be included into the Russian military machinery. I imagine a lot of them is thinking what we're thinking, that Prigozhin took a big fat payout and has now sold out, as they say. And 2, what precedent is set for Russia? Well, the immediate precedent is if you've got enough dudes, you can march on Russia, and the worst thing that'll happen to you is that you get all charges against you dropped, and you get a villa in Belarus. So, that's not necessarily a good precedent to set. I imagine this will severely weaken Putin's position, and there are several people in the top Russian brass, the oligarchs and the leaders,
Heresy
that
is the
are
question.
worse
Fire is the answer.
than Putin. And I imagine a fair few of them might now be looking at their own bank accounts and wondering whether or not they can't pull off something similar.
I don't think they have 20,000 men, though.
I think they
Service
could buy
guaranteed
20,000 men.
Are they
And
really that
hell,
rich?
They don't need 20,000 men, V. They just need 5,000 men in the right place. Like, for example, I don't know, the police departments in Moscow.
Heresy is the question. Fire is the answer.
What about like Ramsey, which can just use 20 good men?
20 good men. Jack says, blimey, you actually know. I do. I know the difference between a submarine and a submersible. Now, where it gets difficult
Guaranteed
is in
citizenship.
World War II. Was those U-boats submarines or submersibles? Because technically, they fit the definition of a submarine, but obviously they could only stay underwater for a few hours at most, or a day or so if they had potassium scrubbers and so on, so they weren't really submarines. Alex Hoffman has been a member for 5 months. Thank you very much for the support, sir. And says, hey, Arch, Big D Daddy. God, I love your stuff. Hi, Bottom V. And my big mummy, Dev. I love all your stuff, too.
Hold on, I have
Oh,
a question
thanks.
for Dev. What is the difference
Huh?
between a clip and a magazine, Dev?
A clip in a magazine?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't the clip when the bullets are like they're outside
Heresy's the
on like a little
question.
rail,
Fire
and then
is
the
the
magazine is
answer.
when they're actually contained?
Well, V?
Well, what about a revolver, Dev? Like, what do you load it with?
You load it with just individual bullets, right?
Yeah, what about like an MG42? And what do you
I
put
don't know
in
what that
it?
is. I don't know what MG42 is.
A big machine
What
gun.
about like, yeah, machine gun, the one that goes da, 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 and it has like bullets going in.
Yeah, it has like a belt. It's belt fed.
What the fuck does he know this shit, Arch?
I'm sorry, V. He owned you there. Like, unironically, this was a rare Dev W.
Okay, but like, okay, fine. A shotgun. do you have a clip or a magazine to put in the shotgun?
Doesn't it depend on the type? I mean, I've seen where you just load in the shell, and I've seen other ones with drums. I mean, it really depends.
You're hurting yourself.
You know, I can see he's a communist because only communists like gun. Because Karl Marx said that under no circumstances should you take the weapons away from the workers. This attempt needs to be frustrated by any means necessary. So this just proves, like a Canadian knowing about guns, is that he's going to start an insurrection.
It is
I could
entirely
also
likely.
just be. I could be an American LARPer as well. I could just be like a Second Amendment fanatic.
McWild11 says, it's gay op. Prigozhin is going to Moscow just to kiss and blow up. And then blow up and make up. Maybe. I mean, I am genuinely not discounting the possibility that it could have been a bit of a gay op to just get paid. Reverend North says, Arch, which super soldier is the mightiest? If a Custodes and a Grey Knight had a lore-accurate fight, who wins? And how would a Thunder Warrior fare against either? Hashtag blame Erda. The Grey Knight would probably win, because he's a full-on psyker. And the Thunder Warrior, well, if you take the Thunder Warriors from the Horus Heresy, then they would beat the shit out of Space Marines, but they would lose to Custodes, so, yeah. Charlie says, reminder, Dev, that you have homo lust. Take care.
I mean, that's fine.
Dev,
I'm
did
okay
you
with
see
it.
my post on Twitter that got me suspended?
Yes, I did. I'm gonna do a video about it actually.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I
working
never
on it.
thought that I'm going to be this controversial. I had a Vice journalist fucking contact me. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, guy, like, straight man, likes big boobs. Extra news, read all about it. How dare he? It's
So here's the thing.
Dev's
I
gonna
also
make
like
a
big
betrayal
boobs.
video.
I also
No,
I
get
also,
the fuck out. We have the most fringe fetish in existence.
I also have hetero lust,
Service
Mr.
guarantees
Superchatter.
citizenship.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Do you know
worry,
that,
V.
like,
V. When I make my video, I won't backstab you. Don't worry.
do you know what I noticed? It's like if you're a guy, right, and you like an anime girl with big boobs, then you're a
Here's the
pervert, right? Like
question.
stinky
Fire
pervert,
is the
incel,
answer.
etc., etc. If you like an anime girl with no boobs, oh my god, pedo alert. If you like a fat, like chunkla, with lots, like a massive corporeal manifestation,
Service
then it's
guarantees
okay.
citizenship.
Fucking hell, like, who makes these rules?
Well, have you
Well-
heard of the concept of safe horny?
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Arch,
So
what is
there's-
safe
there-
horny?
There's safe horny and there's unsafe horny. This is a new thing that's appeared
Oh
in
my
the
fuck.
far left
So-
Twitterverse in the past
I wish
6
that
months or
look.
so.
I wish that the far left would reach their mouth down and have a conversation with my cock because it has a mind of its own, and I cannot like if they convince my cock to like what safe horny is, then maybe it does.
So here's a good example.
Mm.
Arch, you were on my channel and we watched Lance from the Surfs on Tim Pool, and he was a complete retard. And I don't know if you remember, Arch, but there was one section where Lance was trying to play up the fact that Tim made a point that a post-op trans woman can't orgasm, and that's a problem, and it is obviously a problem. However, Lance's reply was to say, "You're weird, Tim. Why are you thinking of somebody else's genitals in that way?
Yes.
Why
I
you think-
remember that.
You remember
That
that?
is such a
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing. If you go onto Lance's Twitter account, you'll see him simping for a whole bunch of e-girls, right? And it's like, okay, well, hold on. Why is it that sexuality towards someone you don't know is okay in some instances, but not okay in other instances? And when I
Every single
wait, no,
fucking one of them is a hypocrite. Every
Yes,
single
yes.
one with no
They're all
fucking
hypocrites.
exception.
yeah,
The only
but here's-
people that weren't you know who weren't hypocrites? Them, because now
Who?
I'm a fucking specialist at this shit. I can get a
Yeah.
PhD and lecture people about it. The only ones that weren't hypocrites are the Christ cocks. The one like Jesus and family. You know, you have one of them coming to you and it's like, oh my god, how can you like this thing? But like when I look at his timeline, at least it's fucking consistent,
Fire
you
is
know.
the
But
answer.
then he looks at Andrew Tate and it's like, oh, why is Andrew Tate having like so many followers? In the meantime, let's ban anime and let's ban what other entertainment people likes and worship Jesus together at the church. Oh, where is no one here?
Here's
Right?
the question.
But at
Fire
least
is the
those
answer.
people were consistent. Like at least you look at their timeline. Yeah, they didn't watch porn. They had like football, some golf bullshit, talking about Wagner and saving the West, but like no porn.
So here's the thing, V. The reason for that hypocrisy is the rules of safe horny. Because
Yeah,
I
I'm
went
pretty sure
on a
they can justify.
I went on
Look,
I went on a
I-
big deep dive reading a bunch of nonsense, and I've sussed out the rules. I'm gonna do a video on safe horny, and it's
Man,
it's
if these people were religious, they would find mental gymnastics to justify why they will go to heaven, why they have a dog cock up their ass. Like they will make moral gymnastics in order to justify literally any fucking hypocrisy that they're capable of.
oh yeah. So there's safe horny, then there's a similar concept called safe edgy, where
there
in
a
some
thing like
cases
safe
you can
retard-
be
yeah,
edgy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is there a
you
thing
get it,
like
you get
safe retardation? Where you can be like retarded, but it's safe. Like it's not you're not a danger to others, you know. But you're still suffering, even though your mind is healthy and you shouldn't. Like it's a choice, but you choose to play the role of a dumbass, but it's safe. I'm sorry, Arch. I got a little bit heated under the collar. I apologize for that.
Def,
Is Arch still here?
what is safe horny?
Oh, Kibbs rated. Hello, Kibbs.
Gibbs is
I
safe
guess
horny.
you're gonna have to watch Dev's video on it to learn what safe horny is.
No, Gibbs is safe horny. He's got like this really cute VTube avatar. I like it.
I also want to point out that, like, again, it genuinely is it is a power play. That is what it is at the heart of it. Because if they can make you feel shame for the things you like, but they can be proud about the things they like, they are obviously in the advantageous position. Because you have to deny yourself whilst they get to celebrate themselves. Like, it is a power play. It is unironically.
Yeah, but it's so bizarre because it's directed at healthy, teenage male sexuality. Like what?
Yeah, but
what do
they're
healthy
not
teens
healthy
like?
teenagers.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, but like you would think
I
that
like
the
how you
numbers
stop
are
with male, Arch.
it is so the numbers are so overwhelming against them that most people should just not even take them into consideration.
But they
Like,
do.
like yeah, that's the bizarre thing, and I don't understand it. But like every teenager likes sex and violence. Like look at the entertainment they consume, right? Look at the video
Heresy
games
is
that
the
are
question.
marketed for teen
Fire
men.
is the answer.
Look at the movies they like. Look at the books they read. Removing sex from a healthy teenager, sorry, if a healthy teenager likes sexual things, it doesn't mean that it's pathological. Okay, there's nothing wrong with him. If you have like an 18-year-old girl, if you have an 18-year-old boy, and he spanks it to Supergirl or whatever, you do not get him to a doctor. You do not get him to a psychologist to find out like, oh, what is wrong with him? Why is he behaving this way? No, it's just part of adolescence. It's normal.
Well, hold
But
on,
these
V.
people want to
There's
shame you for doing that.
there is a point at which it becomes too far, where this is the
Like, but we're not
this is
talking
the whole
about chronic
toaster fucker
masturbation.
situation,
Yeah,
right?
so if you like if you have
Heresy's
like
the
you know
question. Fire
an
is the
exaggeration,
answer.
like eating is okay, but like if you eat constantly, then you have an eating disorder, right? It's the same with masturbation. Like if you masturbate constantly and you miss work, you're not able to interact in normal society because you're a chronic masturbator. Then yeah, but we're not talking about that, right? We're just talking about like healthy puberty. And being a healthy teenager. Like if a girl likes Justin Bieber and fills her entire room with K-pop stars that are shirtless, and she likes Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, no one is going to shame her. Like that's fine, right? But for some fucking reason, if people that are from the LGBTQ community go to a pride rally and they have like bondage gear and stuff, no one shames them. Like that's normal. But heaven forbid you like Bayonetta. Like that is a little bit too far. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? You know? And OnlyFans girls that does OnlyFans. Oh well, sex work is real work. Do not shame her. Like that, terms of service violation.
Yes.
Unless you're the wrong kind of guy, because then you get fucked over for actually liking an OnlyFans girl. Then you're a creeper. You know it.
Is it?
It is. Yeah. You get it. You get it.
But again, it's just
not
that
a
the straight
mystery.
men.
It's not confusing. It's a targeted political strategy. That is what it is. Like this makes perfect sense. It is them being allowed to go around in dog costumes in Pride Month and have every corporation cheer them on, whilst you get yelled at for saying, "Oh, you like big tits." It's ideological conquest. That is what it is.
You know what I find interesting though, because like, okay, so if you have like an average furry, because I used to be the furry fan, right? You have an average furry, like he ifs all day and shit, and then he wears the costume, like the whole shebang. I don't think like he thinks like you, Arch. I don't think like he's like this, like, all right, so my group now, I'm getting orders from Joe Biden, and I need to,
of course
I need
he
to
doesn't.
shame the
He's a
straight
useful
men.
idiot. He's a useful
Yeah,
idiot.
no,
like that's the thing.
I
It is the thought leaders that do this. It is a deliberate strategy, but most of the retards have no idea about this.
Okay, I can actually show you some things. So people in the chat have asked for a couple of hints of the upcoming video. So fine, here, Arch, I'll drop two little tidbits in the link channel. Okay, so this is an old Gamergate era thread, but I'm sure that you've seen it before. All right, where there's like a cultural machine that takes cis characters and turns them trans, right? And they do it in the name of ideological conquest.
Yeah.
And so like this is a very legendary old thread about
You know what's interesting, by the way, though?
being open and just being honest about it. It's like, yes, we are coming to take your spaces, and we don't care. Like, oh, you like Nintendo games, so you like Zelda, and you like Samus from Metroid, and you like all the. Well, you know what? They're all trans now. Fuck you. Like, it's literally just colonization, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting? Just a parenthesis, because like this was what the communists did. So like the communists were like bourgeoisie and the proletariat, and they wanted to like sanitize literature and make sure that only certain writers were promoted. In my country, like there was this guy called Mihai Eminescu, and he actually was very bourgeois. I mean, he had a lot of cash. The communists made him actually be incredibly poor, and it's like he was struggling to buy bread and shit. So that they made him from bourgeoisie, they made him into a poor person, just so that he can represent the correct class. And this is literally what they're doing. Like they're taking characters, in this case it's fictional, but they're taking characters that aren't trans and they're making them trans just to colonize the space.
Yes,
And,
exactly. Yeah.
and they call it decolonization, by the way.
So someone in chat says that Samus is trans because Samus is genetically modified. Yeah, I guess, but Samus doesn't have a dick as far as I know. All right, so
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's like how she identifies, right? So like if she identifies as she, then it's a woman, even though we can't define what a woman is. And
but okay,
but you know, like
Samus is
there is
female though, is biologically female.
there is a second question that they can't answer, right? So they can't answer what is a woman. They also can't answer, is there a difference between men and women?
Yeah, that's true.
They can't answer that either.
What's interesting is if you talk to like any sane trans person, right? I know it might sound like an oxymoron, but they exist, guys.
No, I
Like,
have. They're on my subscribe star. I'm funded by trans people. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you talk to like a Lilith or a Taftage or like a Blair White or whoever, and to say what's the difference between a man and a woman, they'll tell you. They have no problem. They intimately know the difference between them, probably more than your average person does because of their situation. So, but like you talk to the crazies, and they won't be able to answer that question. Yeah.
Yeah, but Dev, you do not know about the trans civil war. Like you have the actual trans people, the you know, they want to transition from one gender to another, and they don't want to abolish the genders because it's in the fucking name. It's transition, right? Transgender. You add a gender and transition to another. But you now have the social justice activists, you know, the transgenders and the ones from university, and they have waged a civil war with the actual trans people, and they call them true scum because like they're trying to pass and stuff, right? And they actually won. Like they're the ones that are dominating the movement right now.
There's a lot of trans people out there who hate that, by the way. They are not happy about what. Well, you know what? Like lots of gay people hate what the gay movement's become. You know, there's lots of gay people out there who didn't want it to become like leather dog fetishists in front of children on pride parades. So, yeah, it always seems to be the most radical.
Them. Yeah, like PayPal demonetized those gays.
Yeah. Oh, so the second thing I want to show you here, Arch, real quick. The second tidbit. This is from this is one of those crazy activists that you just mentioned, V. And there was a thing when the new Spider-Man movie came out, people were saying that the Spider-Girl character is trans. And this person, who is a very far left person, says, "No offense, but look at her shoulders and chest." So this person is trying to say, yes, Gwen, the character, is trans because of certain physical characteristics that doesn't make you quite fit in with being a woman. Now, if this were, let's say, a conservative person who was clocking a trans woman, it would be the most fucking bigoted thing you could do. But because this is like from a trans person within the trans space, this is actually empowering. Yeah, which is it's insane to think about. But that's kind of the difference between like the safe horny and the unsafe horny, right? This is kind of the difference here.
Fire is the answer.
No, they're like bullshit rules that they create. Like the worst rule is that So follow their logic. Tell me if I'm saying something that's not true. White people are the only ones that can be racist. The worst form of racism is white supremacy. Non-white people can be white supremacists.
Yeah. Yep. But again, like all of this makes perfect sense. It's not bullshit. It's not difficult to understand. They are the priesthood. They get to decree whatever the hell they want because they've talked to God. And so they get to have authority on this matter. As Dev said, when a trans person says it, it's okay. When a non-trans person says it, it's not.
Oh, and I think you did a video on this, but Arch, you must have seen this, right?
The question.
When someone redrew the Black Mermaid pose as the original White Mermaid, and this person got like fucking destroyed on Twitter for it. Yeah, so like it's all the same kind of thing, right?
Yes.
It all just goes one way.
Yes, because it is absolutely the ideological conquest. Like, it's a tactic. They know it's a tactic. And even the ones who don't know, they use it nevertheless.
They instinctively know.
Yes. It's because they've been primed by all of the people who do use it actively.
See, the thing that I believe is that when I went on Twitter and made that post, and I said, like, I want women with big boobs in video games, there were four groups of people that were against it. Like these four groups were the most vicious. Women that do not fit the traditional standards of beauty. No, sorry, women that do not fit. Anyway, they just can't. They don't fit. These ones were upset because I guess like they believe it's kind of like the comic book industry. They believe that if manga doesn't exist, then their comics will sell. It's kind of like that, right? Like those women believe that if what they consider to be realistic depictions of women wouldn't exist, then people would like them, right? So I understand their grievance. These weren't aggressive, by the way, but they would be like, "Oh, this is why you're an incel." This is like usually just attacking your sexuality. The second group were gay people. And I think like the reason they do it is because they don't care. Like they're not
Harrison's
attracted to,
question.
you know,
Fire
it's
is the
part of their
answer.
sexuality not to be attracted by beautiful women. So they just say the things that are correct so their allies don't attack them. Like they're literally afraid of the people around them. They're afraid of their allies. So like they see something and they just have to say the correct thing. The third group of people were the traditional Christ and family group that we talked about earlier. And finally, the fourth group of people, and this were the most aggressive, and I think Dev knows which group it is.
The like the craziest trans activists, basically,
Like
the
you
militants.
go on their forums, and their entire timeline is dedicated to human sexuality. Like literally every single fucking post is dedicated to the cock and the pussy in some manner, and they come and they shame you for liking, you know, like pleasantly looking female characters in a video game. And I think it's the same thing with the comic book industry. It's like they believe that if manga doesn't exist, comics would sell. And it doesn't work that way.
So there's an extra dimension to this when it comes to trans people that doesn't exist for like the race dynamic or the sex dynamic, and that is that you have a contingent of people like very radical trans activists who believe that they can, through enough social pressures, create more trans people. So
Yes.
if they can normalize changing characters from cis to trans, they can begin to normalize changing people from cis to trans. And all you have to do is talk to somebody who like cross dresses or is a trap or some sort of feminine male online. They have like an OnlyFans or they're a streamer, but they're like a feminine guy and they're known for being a feminine guy. Ask them if they ever tried to have their egg hatched by some trans activists. They will tell you horror stories of being abused.
You
Pretty
know
much all
what's
of them.
interesting? And this is another fascinating topic. Are you aware of Gorlak the Destroyer?
The
No.
fat woman.
Okay, so Gorlak the Destroyer, you should Google it if you do not know who that person is.
Let's see.
There is a meme of her, like there's a comic book where Gorlak the Destroyer is very skimpily clad dressed. Okay, so like she's taking up the entire page just by existing, but like she's got like this tiny bra and like this loincloth, right?
Shit.
And I was thinking, like, if you say you like Gorlak the Destroyer, if you're like a big fan of that, and you're like, oh, I want Gorlak in every comic and I want her in every video game, no one will complain. Like that is allowed, right? But if you take literally the same clothing from Gorlak the Destroyer and you put it on Milena or Kitana, then they accuse you of hypersexualizing. So like what they consider hypersexualizing is a woman with a normal body. Like that's it, right? Like if a woman has like a, yeah.
It's because that's their thing. They get to be proud of their thing. You don't get to be proud of yours. Like it's all the same thing.
Yeah, but like if you're a champion chaser, you're allowed to be proud of that.
Yes, because that's in their favor.
Well, see that's all completely true, Arch. But it's like I said, with the trans angle, there's an added component of making more trans people. It's not just you can't like what you like and we can like what we like. There's something else to it.
Yes, it's an added. Well, it's now added biological essence, I guess.
Do you think that cis is a slur, Arch?
Yes.
Do you think it depends on the context, or is it like if you say it, then it's a slur?
If you use it in the scientific context, then you could make an argument, but the scientific context was invented to push the agenda, as you could just as easily simply call them straight or heterosexual. Like, you don't need the term cis.
So the issue that I have
Harrison's
with
the
that, Arch,
question.
is that
Fire
like
is the
straight is the
answer.
opposite of gay, right? It's the normal to the gay is abnormal, but trans is not the same thing as gay. So to use
Hey, then you
straight
can
as the
say
opposite of trans
it's fine,
doesn't really
Dev.
make
It's
sense.
fine. I will tell you how you can say it. Right? It's
Okay.
people who identify with their gender at birth, not assigned gender, because that's fucking offensive. Okay, like a doctor doesn't assign a gender. If a doctor sees a
I agree with
penis,
that,
he's
yeah.
not going to say a girl, right? Because it's not. And if the parents go, it's like, oh. What are you doing? Like, I'm sorry. That was in the kindergarten's teacher repertoire. Like, only the kindergarten teacher can assign. Like, I observe. But yeah, this is political correctness bullshit. They started it, right? So you replace one word with a fucking sausage of a sentence. I don't fucking
I
care.
have lost.
Like, it's the way
So-
it's supposed to work, right? If you don't like the word, then you get to make like this huge sausage of a sentence that you're supposed to say every fucking time. So yeah, go for it. People who identify with their observed gender at birth. This is how you say cis.
Okay.
And by the way, I as
hold
a
on.
cis person should be able to appropriate the term, so I get to say it and you don't. And I can give you the cis pass if you want.
The chat is saying just say normal. The issue with that is that you don't know what's being referred to if you just say normal, right? Because normal could refer.
Really, Dev?
No, seriously,
try
yes,
me.
Absolutely.
Fucking try me. Just
Okay.
fucking try me. And like, make a sentence that I don't know what you're referring to.
Service
Okay, let's say I say V. I'm normal. What does that mean?
Well, then I will ask a follow-up question, wouldn't I, Dev?
Well, exactly. See, this is the thing. If I
But
say
Dev, you're
I'm
not
straight,
normal.
okay, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like here, if I say I'm straight, you know what that means. It's heterosexual. It means not gay. Okay. If I say I'm normal, that could mean straight. That could mean something else.
God,
Yes,
if I
but
say
you would
I'm
use the
quick-
word straight to indicate normal. Straight would simply be the normal.
Hold on. No.
Cis
first
also
of all,
means
context
normal,
fuck-
just in terms. Oh God.
Well, Dev, you don't
No,
just pop up with a statement. Okay,
no,
so
'cause
if I
it's-
say I'm quick, what does that mean if I say I'm quick?
means you're a
Right?
fast guy. You're not slow.
Well, not necessarily. Maybe I come really fast after I put it in, and my wife is very displeased. Like, it fucking
Yeah.
matters, right? Or maybe I'm quick as smart, like I really figured out what to say. The way you can tell is by the context of the fucking conversation. Like, you can't just say, well, I make this statement out of the fucking blue, and you don't know what it is, so therefore the words you're using shouldn't be used.
Hold on. This is a great example. So there's a guy in the chat named Cloudsticker. He says, Dev, normal means following the norm. Yeah, obviously. He says, if you are normal, you are straight and not trans. But you see here, he said, if you are normal, you are straight and not trans. So you didn't have to say, if you are normal, you are not gay and not trans, because you had a word that is specifically the state of being
Yeah, but it's an
not
offensive
gay.
word, Dev. It's a
Fire
fucking
is the
straight.
answer.
Good.
It's a
I
fucking
don't care.
slur.
It's good that it's a slur, and I'll still fucking say it. But the point is
Yeah, but
that
you can
have
say
a
it because
word.
you're part of the group, Dev.
Listen, you have a
I'll
word called.
fucking report you on Twitter when I get my account back if you say it.
You have a word
lost.
called straight, and that straight means not gay. So I personally use cis in the same way as a simple shorthand to say not trans. If we're talking about the status of being trans or not trans, cis means not trans. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I don't attach any sort of woke nonsense beyond that to the word. I think
Okay,
it's a very simple, easy
I
shorthand.
if I say your blood works are normal, what do I mean?
Well, there could be a whole bunch of things, but
Okay, so we should stop using it. Oh, we should.
No,
All right, go on.
no, V. I'm not saying stop using it. What I'm saying is, there's going to be a bunch of different things happening in my blood. If you're going to talk about one of those things specifically, then you have to be more specific, right? So if we're talking about trans nonsense, then it's actually reasonable to use cis sometimes. If we're not talking about trans nonsense, you don't have to use cis.
How about I use whatever the fuck I want? What about we
That's
live in a
fine, that's fine.
society where the meta is when I use what I want, Dev, without the Trust and Safety Council fucking me out my ass?
No, listen. I completely agree with you, V. I'm simply saying that there is actually a reasonable moment in which you would use that term.
I'm pretty sure there are reasonable moments where you can use the N-word, Dev, but we're not making the case for that now, are we?
I am.
Are you
Yes.
on?
Guarantees
That
Yes.
can be a reasonable way.
More
Okay,
slurs.
when do you
More
use them?
slurs. Use all the
When
slurs,
do you-
all of them, all the time. Arch, can I say it on your channel?
No, you
No.
can't say it on his fucking channel. What is wrong with you, Dev? Say it on your own
Service
fucking
guarantees
channel.
citizenship.
Jesus.
I will actively police you, communist.
Yeah.
What's
Okay,
trying
here.
to do? I'm just trying to sabotage you.
No, this is exactly what I posted once cis was announced as a slur. Right here. Excellent. My
Ah.
repertoire of slurs has increased
God,
because slurs are good, and
that
you should
is
say
yet
them all the
another
time.
topic for today. Okay, all right. Hold on. We're going to continue with some super chats now because this is going to take forever.
Slurs are good, chat. Say them all the time. Normalize them. All of them.
McWild11 says, anyway, gay up or not, West is clinging to it for propaganda, so nuclear false flag in Zaporozhye is hopefully postponed. Yay. We'll see. Play Chaos Voices says, Kremlin nationalize mercenaries privatize Rostov and Voronezh. I was actually unironically expecting there to be a little bit of a People's Republic moment there, but Techno Wizard says, Arch, ever play Rifts? My channel covers the basic. I have not. I heard he was dead, though. Well, the Rift Mo, I'm guessing. Play Chaos Voices says, 2 divisions guarding Moscow are near front. Peskov VDV division is gone
Heresy's the
too.
question.
Rosgvardia
Fire
is
is the
gutted. You
answer.
think police and worse of Rosgvardia would fought Wagner? I think they would. Because again, like, they're not just the police in Russia. Like, they are basically the local military police. Techno Wizard says, my channel covers the Risk Basics. But you said that already. Thank you, though. Macquarie11 says 4D chess unnecessary. Prigozhin would be on the front line. If West would try a nuclear false flag, he was pissed on Ministry of Defense anyway, so he bolted. Well, that is one way to extricate yourself from the position. 427R book says, I'm not saying it would happen, but Russia following the Milan path of being conquered by their own
Service
mercenaries would be
guaranteed
absolutely
citizenship.
hilarious. Yes, it would. McQuile11 says, Prigozhin didn't say anything bad about Putin, just general and bureaucrats. Much like its negotiation tactics for more
Heresy's the
cash,
question.
he's like a
Fire
warlord.
is the answer.
That is true. He used very harsh language against the generals and the oligarchs, but he was going to save Putin from them and show them the truth, which is a bit reminiscent of when the revolution in Russia happened in the 1914s. 18s, 16s, 17s, 18s? Something like that. It's like, we're not going to overthrow the Tsar, we're just going to show him the correct path. Simon Shuttleberg says, greetings, Arch. Hope you had a good midsummer. I had. It's not
Heresy's
bad.
the question.
Except for the
Fire is
enormous
the
bugs.
answer.
I unironically saw a wasp today, the size of my thumb. I hate it, and I killed it violently. And I will kill anyone else that shows up.
Listen, summer's been fucking awful, all right? Because there's forest
Good.
fires all over Canada. There's forest fires like a kilometer outside my city. I'm gonna burn to death, guys.
Yes, you are, but that's your fault. Because we had forest fires here. I had the stream of mine delayed because I was getting messages on my phone like, the woods are burning near your house. Please consider leaving. But unlike you Canadians, we Norwegians have a competent firefighting service. And so they got it all under control. They put it out, and after 2 days, there was no more of it. But you have diversity, highest dev. So when you burn,
I
know
know.
that it was a woman who caused the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I want to know, and maybe chat can help me with this one, because this is like something that has been boggling my mind for a while. It's like when you have a person that says something like, this is a cold summer, where is the global warming? You're going to have individuals that go, actually, like climate and the temperature are 2 different things, which is fine, correctly. But when there's a forest fire and people go like, global warming, where are the intellectuals then? Where are they? Well, just because like temperatures are high doesn't mean that it's because
Service
of climate
guarantees
change. Because the
citizenship.
temperature and the climate are 2 different things.
Well, yes. Like, unironically, because this was one of the longest and shittest winters in Norway in, like, the last decade. And nobody mentioned the climate change. But then they were like,
I have lost.
oh, God, okay, it's getting warmer. Climate change! It's climate change. Oh, there's a drought. Climate change. Oh, wait, there's too much water. Climate change. At this point, I'm
It
convinced
is
climate
upsetting.
change is a hoax because people can't make up their fucking minds what's causing it or
Heresy's
when
the
it's happening.
question. Fire is the answer.
Yeah, as the by the way, wasn't there like a Democrat that was caught because he didn't appreciate the fact that things are moving too slow and he set fire to a forest?
Oh, that's right.
And-
We were all supposed to be dead a couple days ago, by the way. They dug up
yeah.
one of those climate scientists' tweets going like, in 5 years we'll all be dead. Well, it's been 5
Yeah,
years.
but
That was Greta Thunberg, actually. That was her.
There you go.
Yeah, but did you notice how they phrase it? It's like, chances are in 5 years we may. Oh, I see. Well, I guess,
Oh no, Greta was direct. That's what made it really funny, is that she was actually direct about it.
She's Swedish.
Let me
She's
find it.
special.
So I remember this. There was a bunch of climate people when I was a young lad back in the 90s. They said by the year 2000 we're all going to be underwater, and it's like, well, that didn't work out, obviously. So I mean, I do think climate change is real, but I think everyone's overstating their case because
Heresy's
they're all
the question.
retarded.
Fire is the
Captain
answer.
Planet is our hero. Gonna take pollution down to 0 with our
That
powers.
was
now
a good
combined.
show.
Arnold
No,
Scarlett
shit.
says, the tweet says
Unironically,
bird
do you
strike
know
caused
there's
the
an-
crashes.
Well, I have the tweet, Arch.
Heresy's the
A top
question.
climate scientist is
Fire is
warning
the
that climate
answer.
change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Well, we're still here. Now, to give this the most charitable possible reading, it could be that, like, if we don't stop over the next 5 years, we will be wiped out at some point. Just not
Isn't that what they say
immediately.
about the hole in the ozone? That it's like, well, the reason they don't talk about it is because it got fixed. Like they actually implemented the measure, so now the ozone is fine.
Well,
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
thing
I mean,
is, we've had multiple of these. When I was a kid, what was going to kill all of us was acid rain. Acid downpour would wipe the planet clean. Like, all of
I
our
remember
crops
that.
would die, etc. Our houses
killer
would
bees and
collapse.
shit. Yeah.
And after that, it was the hole in the ozone layer. That would fry us all. The sun would just gut us. We'd all burn to fucking crisps. And now it's getting hot. Like, the problem is, this has happened like 3 times before. So at this point, even if climate change is real, fuck, I don't think I care.
So, where I live, this city, it's a mining city, right? So, this place actually had real acid rain. Back when acid rain was actually a problem. It's not a problem anymore. But it was just due to the technology at the time. We didn't have a way to filter it out. We have the way to filter it out now. We solved the problem with technology. We didn't need to actually radically restructure our society and energy and economy and become socialists, right? We didn't have to do that. We just solved the problem with new technology. But acid rain, like, it's not good for plants. So it doesn't kill them right away. It's not like actual acid, like what is it? The acid in your stomach that can burn through steel sometimes. It's not like that shit is falling
I
from
don't
the
think the
sky
acid
and like
in your stomach
destroying
can burn
everything.
for steel. That I don't think it works that way.
I think if it's concentrated, it can. Is it hydrochloric acid?
No, that's
Well, in any case,
Yeah,
Heresy's
but, like,
the question.
there's
Fire
some
is the
crazy
answer.
acids out there, and the implication was that rain would turn into some of those crazy acids. It did not. Basically, it means that like the pH level of the water is a little bit out of whack, and it's not great for plants, but it filters through the soil and it's fine. It's like minor damage to the plants, right? But because it was minor damage that was being caused by pollution, and that humans were actually doing it, everyone lost their mind about it, right? The ozone layer, we developed new technology to fix the hole in the ozone layer, all right? But because humans did it, everyone lost their mind about it. It's like, yeah, okay, we cause some environmental problems with what we do, but we also fix them generally. We invent new technologies, we keep studying things. Things tend to be okay. This idea that, like, oh, a new problem has arisen, we need to destroy ourselves to solve it. It's like, no, wait 5 years, we'll figure something out. You know what I mean? Like, it's people are they're like looking for a reason to be doomers, basically.
Yes. Well, they're looking for a reason to implement socialism. It's
Yes.
literally, the thing is, this is what all extremists do. They will look for reasons to implement their extreme solutions to problems, real or imagined. The only difference now from previous history is that we've only really got one form of extremism currently.
leftist.
I can't wait for the fascists to come back, so at least we'll have some variety in our solutions.
You know
One
that's
will
going
be,
to get clipped.
we'll
Why
embrace
do you do
socialism.
this to yourself? Why do you do this?
The
to
other
yourself?
will be,
It's
let's
going to
embrace
get
Christ.
clipped. It's going to get clipped, and the next time, like, someone is going to come with a fucking folder, which they're building right now. It's like, oh, let me show you why Arch is a fascist. Look what he said. Oh, he did a joke about it. He was serious. He's going to resurrect Benito Mussolini right now if you don't stop him.
But-
Man.
I'm right, though. At least it would introduce variety into the news cycle. I could
But
cover
didn't we
leftists and
have?
rightists.
Well, we had that, Arch. We had that. Don't you remember when you had to go to the McDonald's and show them your fucking papers so you can sit at a table? Did you forget when they locked down the businesses and Hollywood can still manage to use the restaurant next door?
I don't,
So,
Like,
I
did
don't
you
think
not
that was the
remember?
right.
so do we need to send this off to Erudite for your humanizing, Arch? Is this you have to clip this one for later?
Unironically, like, that was fascism by the very fucking definition of it. Like the media working hand in hand with the corporations and the government in order to fearmonger the living shit out of people and make sure that you show papers when you leave your house. Like, how is that not fascism? And it came from the left.
That's because the left is fascist. Also, by the way, Dev, you can't have theocratic fascism. It's impossible.
Yes, you can. Okay, here. You know what? We'll meet in the middle, Arch. You can have like religious forms of fascism. The Romanian Iron Guard were obviously one. It's possible.
What?
That's
Aren't,
not
aren't
meeting in the
like
middle,
Middle
though.
Eastern? Well, aren't Middle Eastern countries unironically Islamofascist, like theocratical fascism?
No.
Yes.
Why not?
The whole Senate says, "Hey, Arch, Dev, and V, hope you're well. Thank you for covering this. You're welcome.
But
Also,
but
you're the
Arch-
one who's responsible for V making noises now. And Dev making noises, I mean, in the super chat.
actually, you have to elaborate. Why not?
Because they're theocratic before they're fascist. Their fascism is not based on it being a political philosophy, it's based on them being extreme theocratic. They're a
But
theocracy,
what if their
not a
religion?
fascist state.
What if their religion is structured the same way?
Then
like
they're a
Leviticus custom?
theocracy. The religion comes first. They worship the church, not the state.
Yeah, true.
Well,
but the interpretation
I
of the
have
religion
lost-
comes from the people running the state.
Yeah, but the
Like, they can interpret the religion any
exists
way they want.
first. This isn't the chicken or the egg. It's the religion exists. The religion's rules are this. And yes, they could interpret it any way they want, in the same way that Games Workshop could interpret the lore to be any way they want, because the religion is made up. That doesn't mean it doesn't have weight.
I guess, but
Well,
like,
well-
look at the Catholic Pope going like, "Oh yeah, well, actually, crusades are a thing now, and you get to wash away all your sins if you participate in the crusade."
Yes.
But nowhere in the Bible does it state. In fact, in the Bible it says, "Do not kill."
Yes, but first he tried to justify that via Christian means. He even went to the pontifex in Byzantium to try and justify it. And only when he couldn't find one did he declare a crusade, and then mixed it up, as you say. But the religion was still at the core of it.
Well, here's the thing, Arch. Like political theory is full of ideologies that have these components that don't quite fit together, right? Like libertarian socialism is an obvious one. Libertarianism and socialism. You slap that shit together, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. But nonetheless, it's still an idea that some dumb people hold, right?
Yes, but that doesn't mean it exists.
Well, here's the thing, like national socialism, like even that doesn't make too much sense because most socialist theory is based on the international. So like
Harrison's
you can
the question.
theorize the
Fire is the
blending of two
answer.
different ideas, and it's stupid, but I mean it's still a belief system.
No, I would simply define it. If it's real, it must exist somewhere. Like, it must be tried. You must be able to identify it. And theocratic fascism is not.
I think you can identify it. I think you can like
I
the
think
Romanian
right
Iron
now,
Guard.
no, I think we're arguing semantics and definitions. It's pointless.
No, I think V is wrong. And I think Dev is wrong. And I think everyone is wrong. And I think somebody will donate $1 soon to make Dev go, oh, shit, I'm wrong again soon. McWilder Level says, maybe Prigozhin saved Wagner soldiers. Maybe. The martyrdom angle, that's possible as
Harrison's
well.
the question.
That
Fire
he
is the
decided to
answer.
take the plea deal to save his men. Possibly. Alex Adamson says, anyone remember the Novichok poisoning? He's dead. Oh. Well, Mikela says, or a picture
I
of
have
his loved
lost.
ones with an angry man. That is also a potential bribe, yes. Like, you take back your soldiers and we won't rape your wife. Possibly. It's very Russian. Wolfsbane, or a fat stack of cash and a bullet to the head. Yep. TC Rock says it takes years to make a soldier from a civilian. That is true as well. And the Real Wholesale says Ender's Game. The problem is, Dev has dragged us so far topic, I don't even know what
Service
he's referring to
guarantees
now.
citizenship.
Dev.
Sorry.
Dev.
I think it was V this
Dev.
time. Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
I do not do that thing. But why are you blaming me for?
Ender's Game was an awful movie, but a decent book, apparently. McWilder11 says, at art, say in Jap accents, it is not honorable. Local Raven, me drone striking European family. GGE's next set. Space Monkey 0899 already answered in Anime Psycho-Pass Season 2. Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is a pretty good anime. It is. McWilder11, did you clip Dev saying I have lost a Streamlab notification? That's
Service
hilarious.
guarantees citizenship.
Yes, I have. Oh, the honor goes to the real Holsonator who clipped it and sent it to me and did most of the hard work. I just put it in my Streamlabs. I also
Service
added in a
guarantees
little
citizenship.
picture of Dev's face with a hammer and sickle behind it.
I saw it. God damn it.
Space Monkey 0899 says, in the anime Hacker linked killer robots to game. Ah, yes, I remember that. Because he wanted people to go crazy, and then he unlocked it, so people thought they were playing a video game, but then they like changed the thing so they could see that they're actually killing people, and a bunch of people had a hard freak out over that.
It
Because-
wasn't people. It was like an alien. Yeah. But I actually
I have
realized that
lost.
that's what they were doing because like there were all the generals there and they were like so hyped up for him to win.
The generals?
Yeah. So like the Ender's Game thing. It was.
That's not Ender's Game,
the-
Psychopaths.
Service guarantees
Well,
citizenship.
Ender's Game has the same shit, right? Like,
Shut the
but it's really the same stuff. It's like what you're talking about, the video gamification of warfare.
Yeah. Well, essentially.
Yeah.
Mark James says, Dev, the chicken breast by itself won't be enough to lose weight. Put some greens with that breast. That's right, Dev. That's so.
Understood. Well, here's the thing, guys. My current diet contains for dinner every day chicken breast and salad. Lots of salad. And you know what? It's all garden salads. My garden's going pretty well this year. We got lettuce, we've got chard, we've got cucumbers, we've got peas, we've got carrots. It's good stuff.
The Real Wholesaler says, I'm with V on this. I dread the idea of dying surrounded by family and friends as the last of my lane drains out of me. Just blow me up. And also says, so we're releasing you alive into space then, Hutch. Okay, well, I am fine with putting the Real Hallucinator on top of a ton of TNT and exploding him while surrounded by friends and family. I'm okay with this. Jack says, if you actually care about killing a person humanely, hypoxia. You go out
Harrison's
happier than
question.
ever on a
Fire
high
is the
and in no
answer.
pain. Literally. Well, that's an option. Modern Republican says, V, the best boy and gypsy. Anaclusmus1234 says, first time I've been able to catch the cast live.
Service guarantees
Much love and many
citizenship.
thanks for all the great content, you all. Appreciate you. Thank you for your donation. Calling Dev's content good, though. I'm joking. Dev makes good stuff.
Don't do that.
Me too.
It's not very good. It's not very good, guys.
Mark the Same says, saw a guy in Seattle who had Nurgle's rot on his leg. That's just Seattle. And he says, I guess this means Corpo can't keep their armies. The deprivatization of military in Russia, a true tragedy. And C.T. Thomas, the Beeps peasant, says, Dev will never be American. He's too Canadian. That too is true.
Yeah. You know, before the whole MAID thing happened, I like Canadian healthcare too much.
Including the euthanasia.
I said before MAID.
TC Rock says, listening to Europeans talk about guns hurt my American ears. 47R Book says, wait, so if you take a submersible and start operating it from a coastal location instead of a ship in deep sea and doesn't need a ship to support it anymore, does it become a submarine? No, because it still needs to return to harbor, and in that case, you will have a base for the submarine. It'll just be in the harbor. It will still only be able to operate a short while around it, and it'll need possibly even to be operated from the ship, like the ocean dumbass Titan thingy. Lord of the Possum says, hi V, loving the tweets, keep it up. Mark99 says, V, didn't you hear? Good looking women are illegal these days. Hot men are fine though. That's just true. Going for
all the
85?
ugly women, unironically, all the ugly women that called me a pervert when I went on their timeline, they had shirtless men.
That's true.
Every single fucking one of them.
Of course. Because again, it's fine when they do it. Going for goal 85 says, almost at half a year, not nearly enough compensation for the years I watched and enjoyed your
Harrison's
content,
request.
but it's a start. Thank you for
Fire is
everything
the
else.
answer.
Thank you very much, Going for Gold. Right. There is still a million miles of super chat, so let's take the chance of moving on to the next topic, the ocean
I have
submersible.
lost. Shit. Oh my god, Arch, when you have an hour and 15 minutes for bear trauma. Speaking of submersibles,
That's a submarine, Dev. Dumbass.
actually, Arch, did you see the? I tagged you on Twitter.
Yes.
The mod, the bear trauma mod of the submersible. You want
I
to use
did
that as
see
our
that.
next sub?
No. So the first thing we've got to start with this has got to be this little thread right here. I'll put it in the links channel. Why the Titanic submarine incident will be a victory for the working class.
I'm pretty, so first of all, I like the fact that they're still LARPing, like they give a fuck about the working class. Like that is the most hilarious stuff ever. Like MAGA actually cares about the working class more than the champagne socialists do. Um, but secondly, it is interesting that so many communists were cheering this.
Well,
Well,
no,
I mean, it's billionaires who died, so that's why it's in their class interest.
Yeah,
from
but
their
like
point
some
of
of
view.
them, like Hassan Piker, he's a millionaire himself, right?
yeah,
So it's
but
like
he's
they
LARPing as a
tried.
Marxist.
Yeah, this is what I don't get. It's like the degenerates that came at me, shaming me for wanting a hot girl in a video game. Like they tried to separate themselves from the degeneracy the same way that Hassan Piker and the other Marxists tried to separate themselves from their wealth.
Well, it's the exact same
Yeah.
thing as what we talked about previously. Like it's rules for thee, but not for me.
So
Yeah, but
I
like-
can give you I can give you their ideological reason if you want to know it.
All right, go on.
Okay.
Why do they celebrate that the Pakistani kid has perished? Go on.
Okay, so for them, bourgeois and proletariat specifically refers to the relationship to the means of production and not how much money you have, right? So because Hassan Piker, he works, he does work a job, he streams. It doesn't matter how much money he makes off of that work because he's still working, right? If you have somebody who doesn't work and simply lives off the interest, he's not a worker, he's an owner.
Yeah,
So
but the
he-
billionaires there had jobs.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to say they're not real jobs because they don't believe that CEOs do any real work. They
But
don't.
they weren't just CEOs. Like some of them actually had jobs.
Yeah,
So
they don't.
wait.
They don't believe that organization's a real job. They don't believe that organization is
I don't want
labor.
to pass this really fast, but like
Okay.
a streamer, like
Yeah.
how many times did people not tell you, Dev, to get a real fucking job, right? Because it's like,
I'm sure all of us hear it all the time. Yeah, I'm sure like everyone who's
YouTuber
ever
is
worked on
not a
YouTube
real
has-
fucking job unless you suck cock at McDonald's. Then that's not a real fucking job, is it? So
Yeah.
like you have a streamer which streams with an empty fucking microphone and a chair, showing Tucker Carlson videos, talking about what a real job is.
Yes, because he works the means of production that Twitch owns. He doesn't actually own the platform. That's going to be his. That's his ideological
then,
view.
all right, so even then, the 18-year-old, right, which was a student, like, does he deserve to die?
Yes.
I think he was 19, not 18, but yes, he does.
Yes.
Okay,
Because-
so
in
all
fact,
students-
also
because he
the
benefits
notion
from-
that it is any different if one of them is a quote-unquote child is completely absurd. A
Harrison's
19-year-old is
question.
no child and has
Fire is the
actively taken
answer.
part in the exploitation of millions via his father. That is the communist
but
response to your question.
isn't that the same thing for like all the students then?
Students, if
Yeah,
they're
there's like a
billionaires.
generational there's a generational guilt here because if you're a member of the bourgeois and you are an owner and not a worker and you're simply coasting off of wealth and not actually working any means of production, then all of the children that you raise, they're also being raised on that same wealth. So all the kids are also guilty.
It fucks my brain. How is a CEO not a real job?
Oh,
Okay, so a vice president, is that a real job?
No.
Like how low
So-
do we need to go until you get to the real job?
So socialists view any sort of management or organization as not real labor because they're also generally anarchists and they believe that that sort of thing isn't necessary.
So the HR lady is a parasite according to them?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in there.
Well,
as you
you
can see.
should. You fucking should. You go ask them. What about the HR lady? You know, she gets paid a lot. Is she?
Maybe they view that as like the anarchist form of, let's say, the community coming together and cooperatively managing itself rather than someone top down managing. I don't fucking know. These guys are
She's got
retarded.
a lot of fucking power. Like sometimes the HR lady, which is literally Stalin, right? Like Stalin was the HR lady of his time, right? And unironically, that's what he did, right? Like you have more power in a company if you decide who gets hired and promoted than if you're the CEO. Like give me an army of HR ladies that would only
Harrison's the
hire
question.
Christians,
Fire
and you're
is
going
the
to see that it's
answer.
going to become the most theocratic corporation. That even Arch is going to say that okay, well maybe theocratic fascism can exist in this sense.
V
Listen, the
continues on
ideas are
his quest
retarded.
to
I
find
agree with you.
Logic in leftism.
Go on, Beth.
I just want to say that yes, I also agree that these ideas are retarded.
So, a big part of this was the fact that you had three distinct groups of people. One group was just laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, the repeated idiocies that came out again and again. And there were a lot of really, really bad takes as well on that by people who are just not very smart and just don't know what they're talking about. But they were at least just trying to poke fun at it, for example. Let's see here. This was a good little example. So, that one. So they used hand ratchets to tighten the bolts on the doomed Titanic submarine. As the actual thing there says, yes, because over-tightening the bolts on a hull like that is actually incredibly dangerous. This is exactly what you do because you can tighten it to just the right tightness. This makes sense. But in the desperate race for people to find something stupid, a lot of people got carried away because this was the topic of the week and everyone thought that this would be the big topic. And Dev, you've talked about this, that there are way too many people on the internet that leap before they look in the hope of being first with the hot takes. And this was a lot of people.
Give me just 30 seconds and I'll have something for you.
All right. There was also a bunch of people saying, like, oh, why didn't it have ballast? Like, couldn't it just blow its ballast tanks? It's not that kind of ballast. And even if it could, at that depth, if they surfaced immediately, they'd all die. Like, they'd be dead. Compression
Yeah, you need
sickness
to
would
do
literally
the
kill them.
compression shit.
Like you need to stay at a certain depth for like a couple of hours before you can go higher.
Yes, this is why the journey down to the Titanic took like 2.5 hours or something.
Yeah, you need to go to a depth, wait there, and then go down.
Yes, you gotta have a very slow and managed descent. There was also the video game controller, which a lot of people laughed at. And yeah, that is funny, but that's entirely fine. Like, literally, the Seawolf submarines, the Los Angeles class submarines,
Heresy's the
use
question.
fucking
Fire is the
Xbox
answer.
controllers for certain parts of their submarines' infrastructure, like the cameras, for example. Because you don't need anything particularly complex. You just need a system that gives you the ability to have a handful of buttons and some directional guidance. That's about it. So it's entirely fine, but the problem is they didn't have enough backups, and the entire submarine was just ridiculously poorly designed. The biggest flaw was the simple fact that they didn't have a safety certification on it. They just dumped it in the water for shits and giggles.
Okay, I'm back. So, Lilith and I did a deep dive on this yesterday. I dug up my sources. I want to give you some interesting things that I haven't seen anyone else but me talk about, Arch. So here.
All right.
Firstly, this is an article from 2017. Okay.
Mhm.
This is deep sea tourism could become a thing soon. Stockton Rush is kind of like the Jeff Bezos of the ocean. So this is obviously, 6 years before today's disaster or this past week's disaster, where they were trying to play him up like the next big explorer, the same way that they've done with Jeff Bezos and they've done with Elon Musk with their spaceflight stuff. It's the same kind of fluff piece, right?
Mhm.
Now, if you look in this article, you can see like he gets interviewed and he talks about like what he's trying to do, and it talks about like how the sub is built and how it works and all.
Submersible.
It's a fluff piece, right?
Heresy's the
Um,
question.
Let's see.
Fire is the
2.
answer.
Yeah. There's a bit, maybe a third of the way down. And it says, to kick off a new era of human exploration of the oceans, Rush is trying to dispel 2 myths. The first myth is that submarines are dangerous. In in the last 35 years, there hasn't been a serious injury, and there have been over 15 million people going. Statistically, submersibles are the safest vehicles on the planet. So there's some dark humor here about some of the things
Yeah,
he
but
said in the
If you
past.
build a new submersible that no one built before, that doesn't make it safe. Like I see these people using these fucking statistics. It's like, well, statistics. Yeah, but like if you build something, God, it's so annoying. But what's interesting is that the people writing that shit are going to resign now. Like, there's no accountability for writing that piece.
Yep. So here's a second one though, because this one's from 2019 when this guy was still kind of on the rise with his new company. Another fluff piece. A deep dive into the plans to take tourists to the Titanic. For a handsome price, our daredevil inventor will bring you aboard his groundbreaking submarine to put
Groundbreaking.
eyes on the most groundbreaking. So if you go about, I'd say, just before the halfway point, there's a paragraph that reads, um, "Tourist subs, which could once be skippered by anyone with a U.S. Coast Guard's captain's license, were regulated by the Passenger Vessel Safety Act of 1993. The law was well-meaning," Rush says, "but he believes it needlessly prioritized passenger safety over over commercial innovation." And he says, "The industry is obscenely safe because they have all these regulations, but it also hasn't innovated because they have all these regulations." And so this guy kind of has he had a history of saying that going deep sea diving in submarines is too overregulated, and so I'm gonna start, implementing a profit motive. I'm gonna cut some costs and make a more efficient product, and I'm gonna go down there on my own.
Uh-huh.
Didn't work out for him, it turns out. It seems like some of those regulations probably had a point, because I think we later learned that he used some sort of fiberglass, no, carbon fiber for his subs, which don't slowly bend and fail like titanium does. Rather, they'll go down 3 or 4 times, be completely fine, and then all of a sudden they'll just buckle and implode. And that's kind of the flaw with that material. That's why you don't use that material in subs. That's what he did to save costs, and well, it ended up killing him.
Yep.
But there's a history of him basically saying, I'm like the libertarian CEO venture capitalist that you see on TV all the time. I'm gonna be the guy who revolutionizes the industry. I'm gonna make all the big inventions, and I'm gonna go do it, without the government's help. And that blew up in his face, basically.
Oh, imploded in his face, actually.
Actually,
There was also the fact that the inside of the submarine looked ridiculous. It's a tube with a mat in it. It doesn't even have seats or any comfort. You sit on the goddamn ground.
Yep.
Can you imagine if they actually ended up on the bottom of the ocean for like 1 or 2 days before it imploded?
They
Oh,
just
that would
waiting
have
there.
sucked. But they might have
That
been
is
rescued at that
another-
point. So
No,
you
because it took like 5 days or some shit.
you mentioned
I
the
finally
listening
found it.
platform that was fake. That the U.S. Navy had heard it implode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, actually, hold on. But before we move on to that, I finally found the last piece of the puzzle. Here, check this out. So, the carbon fiber that he used, he sourced from Boeing, and they were like
Heresy's the
throwing it
question.
out,
Fire is the
and
answer.
it was not fit for purpose at all. So he literally went down there in a tin can.
It does look like something that goes on a Boeing aircraft, but like Boeing says that they did not cooperate with him.
Well, I mean, if he just bought it used, like maybe they didn't know. Companies auction lots off all the time of used stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
So who knows?
Didn't he went like a couple of times to the Titanic before though?
Yeah, so he went down in the same vessel, the Titan. He went down 3 or 4 times in the same one. And that's the issue with carbon fiber, is that you can't tell it's going to fail even as it slowly loses integrity due to like microfractures.
Didn't he
So,
like know about this? Like this is common knowledge, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, so James Cameron, director of the Titanic movie, and he's gone down there a bunch of times on his own. All of his, because he does a similar business, and all of his stuff is made out of titanium. And he actually he did like an interview with CNN. Where I don't have the interview on hand, but he
No,
basically
I
said
saw it. Yeah.
yeah. He called up Mr. Rush here and said, "Listen, you're going down in carbon fiber. You're going to fucking die down there." And he just didn't listen to him. He just didn't care. He's like, "Nope,
He said that.
I stand by my
Yeah,
products."
he said it's actually offensive to tell him that.
Yeah, he said, "I don't care. I'm gonna do it." It's like, well, okay. And actually, there was in that same interview, James Cameron said that basically the Navy heard the implosion, days before it was announced to the public, and he said it has to be an implosion based on what it is, based on the vessel he went down in and the problems it was going to have. Like, it imploded. That's what it was. We're not going to learn for 3 or 4 days, but he said back on Monday it was an implosion. So, yeah.
There's also that you ask why they didn't know. Well, the other famous thing that happened is, of course, the OceanGate CEO didn't want to hire any 50-year-old white dudes because they weren't inspirational enough. And there was even the rumor going around, which I don't know if it's been confirmed, that one of his engineers told him that the submarine wasn't going to hold up for another dive, and he was fired.
It's like yeah, so the thing is, like, most people haven't seen a submersible in their life, right? Let alone step in one. And the ones that did are part of the military, and they, guess what? Most of them are actually 50-year-old white guys, right? But I don't think, like, he cares about the diversity. I think, like, he just said that in order not to raise suspicions on why he doesn't want to hire professionals.
Very possible.
Like, people will just accept that bullshit. Because think about it, it's like, oh, he doesn't want it. He wants it to be inspirational to whom? To like the 50-year-old white guys that were the passengers. Because like overwhelmingly the passengers were 50-year-old white guys, except the 19-year-old.
So this is whistleblower article from 2018, where basically someone said, "Hey, listen, you're gonna destroy something. You're gonna like destroy your sub. You're gonna kill someone," and then he was fired, and they settled out of court basically, and they just kept on going ahead. And yeah, I think that's also the case as well, V. That like. A lot of you'll see this a lot, like the get woke, go broke thing. I think a lot of these people, they don't actually care about any sort of woke ideology. They're doing this to make money or to save money sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no ideological commitment here. They just see it as a path forward to more profit.
Yeah, literally.
It's also just a thing you say. It's like God bless America. It's a thing you say. Like we stand for diversity is a thing you say.
Yeah. But then you have to follow it through.
Do you?
Yeah, you do, because if you don't, then the activists start eating you alive. I mean, look what the activists are trying to do to Final Fantasy, because it's like, what? It's Square Enix, and they already cocked on several titles. So now they're like, blood in the water.
Oh yeah, because they have already cocked, so they've shown weakness, which means they're a valuable target to go after.
Yeah, so when you say diversity is our strength or whatever, you cock. Like, you show weakness. Which means, yeah.
You have cut your hand and dipped it in the pool, and now you must repay yourself to be bitten.
You know what's interesting about scientists, Dev? You said it's like submersible are safe. They say the same thing about sharks. Like, for some fucking reason, even if you go and ChatGPT, they go like, well, sharks are actually friendly critters. And I'm like, really? Would you go next one? Like, why did the people going underwater go into those big shark cages then?
Well, that's usually when they're gonna, like, chum the waters to attract them.
From what I understand is that like sharks tend not to bite humans. It's just that when they do, they will just kill you instantly.
Yeah, I don't fucking care about what you understand or what I understand. It's like it's an animal that's got teeth. Like if it was on land, you wouldn't go. It's like, well, actually, right? Like I don't want to find out. By the way, they killed one person in Egypt, and they killed 2 more last year and shit. And it's like, well, like what? Yeah, like while the person was dying, he was probably, like fact checkers claim that.
It's one of those things where like it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen often when it finally does happen to you, right?
But it's not even that. It's like
you lost the lottery. It sucks.
No, but like what I don't understand is why the fuck are they even saying that to begin with? Like, if you see a snake in the grass, yeah, sure. Like most snakes probably don't attack people, and they're not venomous. Some of them, but like. You treat it as if it's a fucking danger. Like, why isn't it the same with sharks for some reason?
Because we want to understand the happy little animals. That's why.
Well, I think it's also normalization, right? Like, here in Canada, you see a fair number of bears, and people are still scared of bears, but not as scared as foreigners tend to be.
It is fucking insane that you can have bears a bear walking in a city.
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you not know how to shoot? Like, I do not understand.
No,
does poison not work? Like, why?
I've definitely seen bears like walk down the road. Generally, if you just cross the street, they'll leave you alone.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Yeah.
But what happens if it's not generally? Like, what are the exceptions we're talking about?
That's when you have to run into like a random house and call the police. But usually it's fine.
Do you understand just how painful it is to get mauled by one of those things? Like those.
Yes, I know.
They do not go for the jugular. Like they just maul people, and then they walk around and they take a bite every now and then, and they go like, bah. right?
Yeah.
Like while you're screaming in agony, like why is do you allow bears to be in the city?
Well, there are some types of bears here that don't do that unless you provoke them. They're actually really
Oh,
chill.
wonderful! Yeah, so it's up to the bear then, I guess. Okay. What if the bear is mentally challenged? You know, like some people
hold on.
can be.
So brown bears will actually just they'll just attack you on sight, but black bears don't. Black bears will just hang out.
Deb, do you know that some people are mentally challenged, right?
Yeah.
It can happen to bears as well.
Oh no, I know.
All right. So like, why would you even risk it?
Well, to put it like this, V, when you're walking down the street and you see a person in one of those stupid little mobility chair thingies because they can't walk or they've got a prolapse or something, do you shoot them?
No, but
Do you punch them?
there are laws against
Do you
that.
stab them?
No.
Do you assault them?
They're not-
Do you do everything in
No,
your
but
power to
Service
protect
guarantees
yourself from them?
citizenship.
No, but that's called tolerating. You know?
In
like,
fact,
you
regular
don't-
humans. Like, do you,
Yeah.
regular humans. Like, if somebody stepped on your lawn, how many shots would you put in them before you stopped? To reload.
Depends.
presumably?
Like if you're in an American state, you don't.
Like, it's the same rationale. Like, most people won't attack you, but there are murderers. Like, most animals of certain types that you recognize won't attack you. Like, if I see a deer in my garden, I don't go like, oh my god, fetch the magnum. I go like, stupid thing, stop eating
But
my lawn.
if you see a moose, Arch, if you see a moose in your garden,
If I see a moose, I don't go outside, because mooses can be aggressive. Because I know that.
oh,
they can
I
be.
see,
Yeah.
I see. Right, so
No,
bears
mooses,
can't, right?
no,
Like,
mooses are a far larger cunts than bears.
Oh yeah, mooses are actually more dangerous than bears are.
Yes, by a significant factor.
Yeah, so a moose can actually take out a vehicle, a bear can't.
And mooses are used to being the biggest, fattest fuckers around, so they don't bother. They'll go after you.
Yep. I'm actually much more scared of a moose than I am of a bear in Canada.
V's learning things
Is
about animals.
V's thinking about it? Here. I grabbed my sources.
I am
Arch, here, check
thinking
this out.
about the absolute fucking madness that you try to justify that human beings should live in the same place as bears, and you give an example of fat people on the mobility scooters as a Trojan fucking horse
the
in order to let the bear army invade.
Here, let me put it this way, V. I can't control where the bears live, but if I see one down the road, what am I supposed to do?
Call the fucking cops so they can shoot
I
it.
have
Like,
lost.
what do you mean what you're supposed to do?
I mean, sometimes I do. Yeah, I've done it before, definitely. But like,
Good.
it is the case that like if you don't make eye contact, you just like stay away.
Oh,
They
you don't
don't-
make
they
eye
don't bother
contact.
you.
Okay, so that now
Yeah.
I have to make sure I don't make eye contact with the bear. Like I'm in that fucking ghetto. You know, like here's the interesting part though, right?
Well, yes, like,
you say,
if you're in the ghetto, V, and you see a black person with his pants around his ankles and he's got a do-rag on his head and he starts staring at you, do you make eye contact?
I believe the Americans call this white collar crime.
See,
There are news articles describing white collar crime because you call the cops and that's a crime. Do you understand? Like,
there are warning signs in nature. The brown bear is
yeah,
a
but
warning
again, Arch,
sign.
again, like there
The
is a
drug
difference
dealer has
between a
warning
human-
signs.
Arch, there is a difference.
We're not going to
between a
make
human-
bear trauma at this rate.
Like, okay. There is a difference between a human being and an animal.
Yes,
right?
the
Like,
human being
I do
is
not- I-
significantly more aggressive.
Despite of racismus that Eastern Europeans are famous for, I do not believe that a black person classifies as an animal, Arch. And
But it's not
therefore, as a
aggressive 'cause
human
it's an
being, it
animal.
requires certain. Well, as a human being, it requires certain forms of consideration.
In fact, it would be better if they were classified as animals, because then they'd be more predictable in this scenario. Listen,
Arch.
this is why they have the rules, like if it's brown, lay down, etc. Because the brown bear will see you in his territory and go like, well, I'm gonna have to chase you off because you're gonna try and fuck my wife. But if you look like a corpse, he's like, well, it's dead. And we'll waffle on.
Yeah, they don't eat carrion, so they don't bother you if you play dead.
Yes.
Generally.
Yes.
I would not play dead next to a bear under any
Service
circumstance.
guarantees
In that
citizenship.
case, you just die because see, V's solution would be a brown bear comes up to him and V's like, well, I'm gonna run away. The bear is just gonna
No.
casually
It'll
keep
chase
pace
you.
with
no.
him.
Chase you.
It's like,
No,
you
you
know I
make
can run
yourself
60
big.
kilometers per hour, right?
No, Arch. No, you make yourself big and you go,
Yes, the bear will make
That's-
itself larger and then hit you in the face.
Actually, surprisingly, not
Unironically.
all the fucking time.
So there are certain types, like for example, polar bears. They don't give a shit. They will just charge you no matter whether you run, whether you play dead. Doesn't matter. They'll just fucking
Yes.
go after you. There's nothing you can do for a polar bear. Like a polar bear, you fight and you have the 1% chance of winning, and you'll probably just die. Like polar bears will just fuck you up. But there's other bears that if
Heresy's
you
the
like
question.
leave them
Fire
alone,
is the
they're not going to
answer.
charge you. It depends. They're different kinds of bears.
Yes. And generally speaking, okay, right. Anti-racism time. Black bears are not the aggressive ones.
Yep, they chill out.
Yeah, black bears are fine. If it's brown, your best bet is to play dead and hope that it's not interested. If you go like V and yell at it, now you just attract its attention. And then you can make yourself large, and then the bear will stand up in front of you, and you'll realize, bear larger than V.
Meanwhile, panda bears will hug you. They don't care. They're really happy.
And then polar bears are absolute cunts.
Polar bears are absolute cunts because they're the only apex predator in the area, so they view everything else as food. Like, they don't care. Like, seal, human, it's all food to them.
And they don't eat berries or any form of vegetables because there aren't any.
Yes, there's not a whole lot of berries in the Arctic. There's a hilarious clip of a dude in like an anti-bear ball, like with a reinforced plastic thing, and of course the thing can withstand like several hundred tons of pressure. And he's filming polar bears, and the polar bear is just whacking away at this thing constantly because he's like, "Well, there's food inside there. I'm gonna try and break it."
It's so cute when you see a bird that's like trying to open a jar or an octopus or some shit. It's not cute when you're inside the jar and the octopus is the bear trying to get in.
Yes,
I have lost.
when you are the thing inside.
Arch Gibbs is talking about barotrauma.
We have
Is he?
we have sidetracked ourselves a little bit, but honestly, like the Ocean Gates thing, there's not that much to talk about it because everything's come out. My main thing is the reaction to it. How you've got the communists cheering at these people's deaths, and like. On the one hand, I think it's funny, all of the retarded shit that's come out, the I don't hire 50-year-old white guys, etc. But this has got to be one of the shittest ways to die. Like, well, actually, if it imploded, then no, that's a pretty good way to die. Because in that case, it happened instantly.
So when
when
I
the
was looking
communists
into
were
this,
cheering, I just want to put a parenthesis. When the communists were cheering, it was believed that these people are at the bottom of the ocean, freezing in temperature, with no place to shit and piss, with nothing to eat, and just living the horror as the oxygen runs out. And that's when the communists were cheering, like when that was the news, and that's what they thought.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Like I just want to point that out there because it's like it's not it imploded, so everyone died and.
so when I was looking it up, basically the speed at which it imploded in 0.03 seconds.
Yes, it's
which
milliseconds.
it is faster than your nerves can actually transmit a signal to your brain, and also during the implosion, the inside of the sub was heated to about the surface of the sun for a little bit, so everything just vaporized.
Yes.
So they didn't feel anything. It was instant.
Is this like dying from a nuke? Like if you die from a nuke, is it the same?
Kinda, yeah. Unless you watch Terminator, then maybe not.
So that's the.
I guess it's like how far away from the blast you are, because it's like.
Yeah, it's pretty much. And if it landed on you, then yeah, it's instant. So Arch, what I sent you basically. So this is the last. This random TikTok is the last footage of the Ocean Gate submarine to go down. Yeah. So the company was known for hiring like young TikTokers and influencers, right? The reason that it's flying a Canadian flag is because the closest port to the Titanic wreckage is actually a Canadian port on Newfoundland. So pretty much, even though like the Americans were actively involved in the search, they were launching mainly from St. John, Newfoundland. Because I mean, Americans and Canadians cooperate in everything, so that makes sense. What else did I grab that was interesting? Okay, yeah, there's this. So yeah, it's not like there's a lot of communists on the internet who were like being retarded about this, but I did find a couple instances of people on the right also being retarded. So for example, you have Jack Posobiec, who says, "Holy shit, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the US Navy detected the Titan implosion on Sunday,
Heresies
but
are questioned.
Biden held the
Fire
news
is the
until today's
answer."
whistleblower testimony on Hunter. The entire thing was a distraction op." Now,
Oh
what
my God.
happened? Yeah, it's stupid. So what happened basically was that there was some whistleblower testimony in Congress regarding something happening in the FBI. There was like they have evidence of like career people in the FBI covering up the Hunter Biden stuff, which is all pretty much what everyone assumed to be the case. So there was whistleblower testimony going on, and apparently Biden, he used this story as a distraction, but I'll post it here, Arch. If you were to actually go to the Wall Street Journal article, none of that is said.
Well,
no,
I am presuming he is making a leap of logic.
He
I have
is,
lost-
but the way that he's writing it is that it's like it sounds like this is coming from the Wall Street Journal, and he's being deliberately ambiguous because
No,
Jack
no.
Posobiec is
Listen,
kind of
listen,
shitty in
listen.
my opinion.
Listen, it was a distraction from my Twitter post. Not ironically, right? Like as I was owning people in that Twitter post so hard, and that was a distraction from my Twitter post.
So the thing is, yeah, Jack's not being disrespectful the way that the commies were, but he's very clearly he's using a type of grammar where you could easily look at this and think that Biden's actually doing something, but he's not, and that's just him. That's just him making an assumption and not clarifying it, right? It's kind of a shitty way to word this tweet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
What else do I have here that's interesting? I have a bunch of really bad takes and a bunch of memes, but I don't know if you really want to go over it.
Well, it's almost 2:30 a.m., so like I can't stay awake. Sleep.
Well, honestly, there's not that much more about the Ocean Gate thing. Honestly, like I did not want to even cover this otherwise, because it's kind of ghoulish. Right? It
is.
Genuinely kind of is.
Oh, there is another dumb take.
there
What
was
if
one
they
more
were
thing, yeah.
refugees? What if they were?
Oh yeah, the
If they were
refugees angle.
refugees,
What if
they
they were
would
refugees?
fucking search for them. Like
Yes.
literally anyone in that situation. What wasn't there like the dead child on the beaches of Greece that sparked the whole migrant wave? Like what the fuck are these people on about? It's like, oh well, but there's refugees missing all the time. Yeah, there are refugees missing, and they're looking for them. But sometimes there's so fucking many
So-
that the authorities don't have enough manpower to look for everyone.
So what's interesting is that basically there was a boat of 750 refugees that capsized in the Mediterranean. I think they all died a couple days before this event. And as soon as this event started going viral, everyone's saying, "How come no one talked about that event? How come no one talked about the 750 refugees that drowned? Oh, because they don't matter because they're poor and because they're brown." But I mean, if
Talk
you go
about it.
back,
Shit.
here's the thing though, like every like Hassan said this, and all the bread tubers said this, right? Vosh, they all made this comparison. But if you go back on their stream 2 days prior, they weren't talking about the boat either,
Nope.
right?
But
They were
I
only
can
bringing it
also
up to
tell
make
you
themselves
something,
look
right?
better after the fact.
I'm pretty sure there are people that are getting killed in LA right now, and no one is talking about it. Why? Well, because it happens every fucking day to the point where it's normalized, right? But how many times do people go in a submersible to the Titanic?
Well, it's also because you have a finite amount of attention and time you can spend on things, and
Yeah,
every
it's-
time
it's-
you talk about one issue, you're not talking about something else. It's just how it is.
It's kind of the thing like dog bites man. It's not news. Man bites dogs. It's all over, right? Like it's literally the sensational, right? Like something that doesn't usually happen. Like if you have a minority, let's say, and they get stuck in a sewer, like they get stuck in a manhole and they can't dig him out, it's going to be all over the news. And there's going to be like rescue operations that people are going to try. Like the reality in which the leftists live, no wonder they hate rich people so much. Like they legitimately believe that if it was a poor person in the sub, they wouldn't give a shit.
There's one final take, Arch. Here, I'll post it. There it is. So, the stepson of one of the people who died asked an OnlyFans girl to please
yeah.
keep his family in her prayers, and also accepted an offer to get sat on by her.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, a stepdad. Like, see, a lot of people got upset, but you don't know the relationship between.
Here's the article,
Like,
here's the article.
what if the stepdad literally wanted that kid to go with, and now he's like, you know what, Dad?
You know what?
But I don't know.
I'll get a revenge
Yeah.
out of this.
But unironically, though, you know, like just because they're related doesn't necessarily mean they have a good relationship.
Oh, that's right. No, there was final thing that actually reminds me. This is the true tragedy of this. The fact that the 19-year-old didn't actually want to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he
he was
wanted
rich.
to. He was doing it to make his dad happy.
Because it was Father's Day. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the fact that this guy might not get his face sat on might be the true tragedy. Goddamn stupid. Yep, the coverage of it was kind of retarded, and the submersible, excuse me, was idiotic and should never have been allowed to do this. But sometimes it's a private company and they can do what they want, end up with a bit of a body count.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the CEO was
Government
lucky was in there. Can you imagine?
Regulations are good.
Can you imagine if he was outside? Like, can you imagine if he was outside? No, unironically, like the level of lawsuits and the public stigma, and not to mention like the ire from the public that he would get, is unimaginable. Like those people that died were billionaires. Like, imagine what their families would do to him if he wasn't in the sub with there.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but I think they might have a reason to do so as well.
Here, Arch, I'm gonna. You have the most. You have the best speaking voice out of the three of us. So I'm just gonna send you this, and I want you to read this off and see how far you get. Okay.
Let's see.
It's related. Don't worry.
Occupy Democrats. Breaking. Republican billionaire Elon Musk is thrust into another nightmare PR disaster as it's revealed the missing Titanic submersible company previously praised his satellite communication company Starlink and said he would be relying on the service to provide the communications for the Titanic expedition. Yep, I did see this. I also saw Snopes rating it as correct that the submersible was relying on Starlink, and then check themselves twice. Because, of course, here's the thing. Starlink, no matter how powerful it might be, cannot send a signal to the bottom of the ocean because there's water in the way.
That's all true, but keep going because it gets crazier. This one specifically.
The world lost all
Submarines,
communication with the
communicate.
submersible and its crew shortly after it began its journey towards a sunken wreck. A massive search and rescue effort is currently underway, but prospects look grimmer by the hour. The crew has limited oxygen and cannot exit the craft without outside help. And so what if they could?
You're just gonna swim out like it's Subnautica.
No,
or
I guess it's like if they could, they get oxygen, right? Like that's the thing.
Exiting the craft at the bottom of the ocean?
No, like there was the news that it went all the way up.
But
But,
even if
like,
they
like
had
accidentally
emerged.
ascended or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but at that
Wait,
point
there-
they'd be dead regardless.
Yeah. Okay, keep going, Arch.
It
This
must
actually
be
gets really
stated
good at the end.
that at this point there is no direct indication that Starlink failed or was the cause of this terrifying and possibly tragic incident. Retards. That said, given Musk's long history of screw-ups and reckless dishonesty, an investigation should be launched. Really now. Retweet and
what?
heart if you demand an investigation and consider investing in Tribal, a woke new Twitter competitor. Fucking good. That is currently doing a round of equity crowdfunding and just blew past 1.4 million raised from 3,600 of its users. If you want to own a small piece of what is quickly becoming the next big thing on social media, here's the link to do so. You can invest. It's just chilling. Fuck.
Yeah, they took the story and then used it to advertise their own Twitter competitor.
Like, this is the thing.
But
Like,
let me get this straight, right? So like they thought that Elon Musk not being able to send satellite signals all the way to the bottom of the ocean should be sued.
yes.
Service guarantee.
Well,
Yes,
no, they
but also
probably didn't
that-
even know that was how it worked. Like, they probably literally don't understand that you can't send signals from space to the bottom of the ocean.
Let's put it this way. Let's say you're in a mountain area, and because of like I don't know, like the position of the mountains and whatnot, like for some fucking reason the satellite just doesn't go there. Just imagine some reason, I don't care. What, Elon Musk should go to prison because like the satellite doesn't give internet coverage in a specific place?
Presumably.
It just makes
Presumably that is the rationale. But, like, okay.
Okay, so it's like if I have a solar panel, right? And the clouds come up, and now I don't get the sun, and I don't have electricity. Can I sue the solar panel manufacturer using this logic?
Yes. But like, okay, there are 3 levels of ghoulishness. Okay, there's talking about it at all. We are at level 1 of ghoulishness because this is a fucking tragedy, and we are laughing at it because it is retarded. Much of this was just dumb, and yes, this was a whole of this guy's own making, no doubt about it. It's a tragedy that other people was involved in his idiocy, but it is nevertheless idiocy. Level 2 of ghoulishness is when you cover it for clout, when you make a dozen tweets or a dozen videos about it and you talk about it.
Yeah, but this is what the media does. Like, this is
Oh yeah, no,
job,
the media is ghoulish, no doubt about it. And level 3
we're
of
covering it right now,
ghoulishness is this, where you go, oh, by the way, my political opponent might be responsible for the death of these people, which is totally tragic. By the way, check out my Patreon, my OnlyFans, and crowdfunding, please. This is level 3 of ghoulishness.
No, hold on. It's level 4. You miscounted, right? Because it's like level 3 is just like attacking your political opponent, and level 4 is advertising your Patreon.
Disgusting people. Disgusting people.
Yeah, aren't we doing the same, Arch?
Yeah, that's why I said ghoulishness level 1 is us.
No, ghoulishness level 1 is talking about it. Ghoulishness level 2 is laughing about it. Ghoulishness number 3 is covering for clout.
No. Ghoulish level 1 is talking about it, and just in general. It is just discussing it. We are ghoulish level 1.
I disagree. Like, everyone was talking about it, because it was in the news.
Yes, that is ghoulish level 1.
So, like, you're not allowed to talk about every tragedy you see? Like, if you see a tragedy, you just pretend you didn't see it?
I mean, I don't talk about tragedies, vast majority of them. Only the
so is it,
particularly retarded ones, or the particularly important ones.
So is it like if someone blasts a fart next to you and you're being polite and you just don't address it? Like, you don't talk about it?
Yeah.
I see.
Because you don't
Do you think that's how the summoning went?
It's weird.
Like, it's not weird.
There's nothing
weird in addressing it. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It weird?
The guy, it is weird because the guy's probably already embarrassed that he farted next to you, and you go like, "By the way, did you know you farted?" Like he's just gonna like, yeah. Like, what are you gonna do then? What's step 2 in this conversation? Are you gonna shame him, V? Are you gonna yell at him like, "Don't you dare fart at me next to me again"?
But if you don't shame him, what if it happens again?
Well, did you know he did it deliberately? Did he look over at you with a smug
smile
and just
talk to him,
lock eyes with you and just dare you?
Issue.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna call me out on this?
Yes, like if you fart next to me, like first you get the glare, and secondly you get the confrontation. You need to check that guy out.
Why do you have 2 steps?
Well,
so you look at him first. First, you need to search out eye contact. Is eye contact required before you move on to the confrontation?
Yes, Arch, body language.
Okay, so if he simply just doesn't look at you, if he turns his face the other way, you're just gonna have to let that shit go.
Well, no, because then he fucking knows. Like, at least he knows, right? So, like, there's no more need to be said. Like, he understood the issue. He feels guilt. It's like, why do you think I would talk to him? Is to get him to the stage where he feels guilt, but it seems that I can save my energy, because he already knows if he looks away.
I don't know about this.
You would look away if you don't feel guilty?
Yeah, I might not have noticed.
No.
I might not have any feeling in my ass, V.
No, if I don't
I
feel
might
guilty,
be one of those people who's actually capable of literally shitting themselves without noticing.
Yeah, but Arch, if I was that person, and but if I did that, I would look you straight in the fucking eye, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? No. If I fart next to you, right, and I don't care, and I don't respect you, then I look you in the eye, and I'm like, what are you going to do about it? Yeah, I did it.
Oh,
I did it. What are you gonna do?
Because I'm pretty sure that's a crime these days.
Is it assault? Like, I'm pretty sure they would justify it in some country, like probably in Britain. Like, it's assault if you fart next to a woman or something.
Alright, I'll go through a few more super chats, then we'll, God, we've still got topics. Okay, well, we'll do a couple of quick ones, then we might start wrapping it up. McGuile11 says, at Dev, ignore V, give us preview of Save Horny. Wow, that was like 2 hours ago.
I already did, sorry. Actually, here's the thing, I didn't even give you a preview of Save Horny. I gave you a preview of my video on Tears of the Kingdom, about Link being a twink, which is gonna tie into Save Horny later.
Chat on 5582 says, it will be more cute once we get a bow on its head. I think that might be referring to Gwen. Spider-Gwen, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Possibly. Spider-Gwen can be hot. She can. When she's drawn by people who know what a woman looks like. Zero says, Dev, did you tell V about the dog pill? Oh, V is far deeper into
I'm
the dog
aware.
pill than Dev ever has been.
Do you know that we actually were joking? so like the succubis from my game, like we were making a joke because we got the VTuber one, and it's like she's a Twitch streamer and shit. And it's like there was this joke like, what could she do when she's embarrassed? And it's like, well, when she was drunk, she drained the dog, and that's the meme. But like, I know the dog pill. It is true. Why is there an uncomfortable silence after I told the joke?
Because it wasn't a dog, V.
What do you mean?
American Outlier says, hello, Arch and the gang. Hope all is well. As for me, the left gets stuffed because I'm going to make my manga with my beautiful and voluptuous woman. Good. Big tits are good. Big tits are wonderful. Big tits are your friends. The Zero says, V, large corporeal manifestation t-shirt, when? Going
That's
for
actually a really good thing.
85 says, that's a damn good idea. Along with tourist and anti-fan, we should add colonizer into our lingo and speak about SJWs moving into our hobbies/IPs. Yes, it's a good insult. McWild11 says, I agree with V. I found him Arn Trans Cyborg. I found him AM Trans Cyborg. V is Trans Cyborg.
I have lost.
I do not know what that is.
Sato says, are Adam Jensen and JC Denton trans? Well, are they? Dev? V?
I have no clue who those characters are.
Dev is the trans expert, so.
Yeah, I show.
Listen, masturbating doesn't make me an expert.
Yes, it does. It's a lot more knowledge than I have.
That's true.
Is that like is that a sexuality for where like you're attracted to trans people more than to?
Yes, it actually is a sexuality, but even making reference to it is considered transphobic now.
Well, there you go.
So, not here's the thing. Now it's just been rolled into straight. So, like, if you're a guy who's exclusively attracted to trans women, it used to have a name, and now it's just straight because differentiating it from being attracted to regular women now is bigoted.
So if you don't want to fuck trans people, that's transphobic. But if you do want to fuck trans people, that's also transphobic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the former means that you're treating trans women differently from cis women, and they're the exact same ideologically, and the latter means that you're fetishizing them. So
isn't it like if you want to fuck women with big tits, right? Like you differentiate between women.
Dev is what we call it a chaser.
He is
a baster, in fact.
Oh my god.
Alex White says, assuming that this was not a massive psyop, then Prigozhin tried to start shit for one reason or another, saw that he didn't get enough support to take Moscow, agreed to surrender on the condition that he and Wagner get to live, Kremlin won without fighting. It's very optimistic, but possible. Obdulio says, Fallout New Vegas is going through this whole it's for/makes you trans gay, etc. memes that is an entire meme war happening within the fan base. I hope the not trans win. Devil King 1994 says, every time I've heard the word cis used, it's always been in an insulting or sneering manner, never in a positive light or non-negative manner. That's why people see it as an insult because they use it as one. God, that was supposed to be one of the main topics today, the discussion on that thing, like Elon Musk's thing, but it's not even a topic in comparison to everything else. Honestly, the fact that there's going to be a cage match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg is bigger news, I guess.
He's going to get decimated.
Who is?
There's no fucking way. Elon Musk. Like there's no question about it. Like Zuckerberg will mop the floor with him.
Because
isn't Zuckerberg younger and he's also fought before?
He won a tournament, jiu-jitsu, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
that sounds incredibly unfair in that case.
Yeah, like he's going to punch Elon a little bit to assert dominance, and then it like the question is like, is Zuckerberg sadistic or not? Because if he's sadistic, he's going to just wait for the bell, right? He's not going to go for the knockout. But if he is if he is a sadistic, then he would just KO him within the first seconds, and he's going to beam it so hard that even Elon's ancestors will see it. And I like Elon Musk, by the way, but like, let's be real about it. We can observe reality for what it is. Like, you have a younger man that trains, and then you have like another man which is old and fat. Like, who do you think is going to win?
In 2022, Zuckerberg took up training both mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He competed in a BJJ tournament, God knows what that is, in 2023 and won both
Brazilian
a silver and a gold medal in gi and no gi, competing at white belt. Okay, so to be fair, he is at amateur level, but he does have training, whereas I don't think Musk does.
No. Like, he's now saying that his favorite move is the walrus, where he just sits on his opponent. Like, I don't even think this is going to happen. Right? He's tweeting pictures of walruses at Zuckerberg. And that's cute, but like, I have seen YouTubers pussy out of things before. This is like what Elon Musk is doing now. He's pussyfooting around the issue. Like, he knows. Like, I genuinely think that he probably said this to Zuckerberg without thinking, and it's like, and then his advisors went like, you know, he won championships, and right? Like, Elon, what? Like, yeah. Holy shit, you know.
Yep, that's not going to be a very fair fight. But again, Zuckerberg is at the amateur level, because if we're talking a blue belt, that's not the most impressive thing in the world, and doesn't necessarily make you that good of a fighter, but winning a tournament at that level at least means that you are well above the average of amateur.
I mean, theoretically, if they had 1 year to train, and Elon Musk didn't run 4 companies, then
he
maybe
could reach round about the same level, yes. And I am an authority on this. I can speak on this, chat. Don't you come to me here. I fucking took Taekwondo for 5, 6, 7 years. I had a blue belt with red stripe. Like, I have actually done this shit. And it doesn't make you an amazing fighter just because you know a couple of tricks.
But it depends what you study. Like, certain martial art, like karate, for example, is complete bullshit. From what I understand, boxing is very effective. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing.
That is true. There are massive differences. Like, for example, full admittedly, Taekwondo is more of a performance sport than an actual fighty thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's doing mixed martial arts too, the entire point of mixed martial arts is to make it an effective fighting form.
Yeah, like, mixed martial arts was in the beginning, like, everyone can compete, so like boxers could fight against karate masters and shit. And that's when people found out that, yeah, like, certain, especially like the Chinese martial arts, you know, the ones that come from Asia, and they appeared in a lot of Chinese movies and were popularized, and people thought that it gives you superpowers and shit. All of that was bullshit. Like, even like the masters got wiped out by just random boxers.
Well, it's the tale of oh god, what's his name? There's a guy who's made a big name for himself in China for beating the fuck out of these Tai Chi dudes, and he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember like there was like this guy with the chi bullshit that like he would fling chi energy at you and stuff. He got wiped up in a couple of
Zhu
seconds.
Xiaodong was his name according to this. You know, because he became an internet legend after challenging like Tai Chi masters, and I'm sure everyone has seen that one clip where the Tai Chi master does his stupid little stance, and the MMA fighter just fucking rushes him, bodies him, and then punches him repeatedly.
Yep, I remember that.
Because that's the thing. Like, your Tai Chi shit is probably fancy, but if you get punched hard enough in the face, it doesn't matter really.
So we have 20 minutes before Barotrauma starts. Are we skipping the Ray Star Wars thing this time?
No,
do it next
Kib
week?
has already started the Barotrauma. He's a traitor, son of a
Why
whore.
does Gibbs always start early? God damn it!
Because he's a slut. We don't measure our time by V time. God damn it, Kib time here.
See, I just got a notification from someone posting in the post that I made. Please don't presume to speak for us. You're not even a real woman.
Yeah.
I don't even need to describe anything else. It's just like reading this. Like, you guys can feel the hurt.
Let's see. I do need to get through, sir. Glow in the Dark says, is there such a concept as safe word in woke ideology, Dev? Like, can I say the N-word to save a trans woman about to die?
Yes. Well, in my opinion, I don't care.
Well,
Say all the time.
Dev is a certified representative of the left, so there you have it. We have
Well,
ourselves
ChatGPT would say that there is no circumstance, absolutely none in the
That is
whole
true. And that is hilarious. Like, okay, what if it saves 1 million people? No, still can't say it.
No.
Like, Jesus. We have granted this word quite a lot of power, haven't we?
No, like really, that like if the Joker wanted to make the perfect plan for Batman is to have a nuclear device and put the N-word as the password, that Batman would not be able to defuse that bomb, morally speaking.
Very nice video says, V, give more tabletop RPG. We want more V adventures. Think you can bash your head into a wall? You can play a big booba elf. You can be an evil cleric. The possibilities are endless.
But I'm making a video game, so if you like my RPG, you're going to like the story.
Video game? I don't know anything about such a video game, nor would I ever link to it or discuss it in any way on YouTube. V!
No, I'm not discussing it. It's just
Punch.
it's there. I'm not saying anything.
C. Thomas, the Beat Peasant, says, I'm sure V can agree to this. I'm just tired of my video game characters looking like Neanderthals. Yes, like, I even think that V's example of the big-titted woman is a little bit too vulgar, but, like, because we don't even just have attractive females anymore. Like, we just have actually studiously ugly ones.
Yeah, but I had to exaggerate, Arch, right? Because it was, like,
it's
doing activism and shit. Yeah, to make a point. But like, even if, like, okay, so what? Like, you're saying that there are no video games where a female character looking like that woman should exist. Right? Like, it's inconceivable that it... And by the way, like, Dark Souls 1 has that type of woman. And she's one of the most popular characters in the Dark Souls lore. And you also have Lady Dimitrescu. And she's also very popular, right? Despite the fact that she's, like, big booba and very tall.
Well, right now it's Pura from the new Zelda game, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's posting fan art of Pura, and she's an attractive lady. And I mean, part of the conversation is that Japan is still doing it. They don't care. They just don't give a shit. It's the West that's not doing it anymore, but Japan's still making attractive characters. And then part of the conversation is safe horny, because you see a lot of left-leaning people absolutely simping over Pura right now. It's like, well, hold on, isn't she objectifying because she's good looking? But that's just retreading old ground at this point.
Nagels Crixos says, the entire strategy they seem to employ, beside browbeating, is when there are no alternatives, they will have to buy our stuff. Yep, that is part of it. It is the same with the ideology as well. When there are no alternatives, you'll have to embrace ours, because it's the only one we have allowed to be socially acceptable.
Well, yeah, and ironically, they believe that if there wasn't any Arch, if there wasn't any Joe Rogan, if there wasn't anyone else, then people will vote for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they ban everyone, that's the default state. Like, people vote for Obama. It's just that evil Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, that makes people vote for the right-winger.
Tanushi says, normal is what everyone else is, and you are not. That does apply to Dev, too. True.
What?
Yes.
Cito says, but they aren't even right about the unrealistic beauty standards. I've personally known women with the form they criticize. Well, yes. Oh, when you're 200 pounds, it's probably an unrealistic beauty standards.
No, like, the real question should be, like, why should beauty standards be realistic?
Well, they shouldn't, as AI pornography is proving right now, in that it's blowing up faster than real porn is, because people don't want realistic pornography. People just want hot women. Like, it's very simple. Preferably hot women in their preferred ridiculous, over-the-top, absurd fetish. Like, I want hot women fucking octopuses. There's not a whole lot of that on the market, but AI, it's got your back. Glow in the Dark says, Kib is a perfect example of being groomed into trans community. That's a joke. That's true. That is true. Dev will recognize this. Kib has purchased a butt plug tail now. He's unironically going full in.
What, really? Has he? Is it? Are you joking?
Yep, and he's also purchased a Nekomimi headset.
But why though?
Why?
Well, because his community has been like, this would be good for you. And he goes like,
Do you know what I find interesting, though? Like, if Gibbs would have said that he's transitioning, you'd be like, oh, I'm so glad, I'm so happy for him. But if he says that he's getting a tail, then you're like, but why?
But
Hold on.
why? But.
I don't care either way.
Yeah, I know, but it's just the reaction that I find interesting, and I'm trying to understand why.
Because the point is that Kibbs isn't trans, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
So why does he keeps doing all this shit that his community tells him to do?
You wanted to ask why is he taking hormones? Just admit it. You're literally about like they were one
I have
sentence
lost.
away from asking like why isn't he taking the pills?
Okay, hold on. I actually wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, why is he taking the butt plug? Then that's what I changed. That's the sentence
I see.
I changed.
So you think that the butt plug is like a puberty blocker?
The
do
butt
you,
plug's
Dev?
a bit much for Dev.
You think it could be like a puberty blocker though?
I don't know. You're the doctor. You tell us.
Oh. Cause see, when I went to med school, like puberty blockers were used for something else, which it was in the interview with Matt Walsh, and it upset people when he pointed out what they were used for.
Yeah, weren't they used to for people who had like puberty too early?
But yeah,
Like
but
delay it a bit. Yeah.
it was also there's a drug. I don't know if it's the puberty blocker one, but it was used to castrate pedophiles and sex offenders.
Oh, really?
Lee, if you're gonna drag me off topic one more time, I'm gonna castrate you.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
With or without puberty blockers. So John's saying being a troon is being abnormal. Correct. Arnold Fowl says, Dev, the context of the word straight was invented in reaction to gay. It did not exist before, saying normal is a proper response. Dev owned. BTFO'd even.
I mean, no, that's
Yes.
that proves my point.
Randomers, donate more so we can have Dev pop up and go like,
No,
I've
hold
lost.
on. Read it again, or read it again.
Oh God.
No, but Dev.
Dev.
Dev, the context
Come
of the
on.
word straight was invented in reaction to gay. It did not exist
Yes.
before, saying normal is a proper response.
Right. So cis was also invented in reaction to trans. What's the difference?
Well, cis was invented by a pedophile sexual in reaction to being a pedophile sexual.
Wait, I don't really care about that, to be honest.
I do.
That just means that that guy's terrible, but it doesn't invalidate.
I feel
like,
as if
the
that
idea.
taints some of the things that he said.
Well, sure, but nonetheless, if you're going to talk about people who aren't trans, you
Yeah,
need to
but
label them.
Dev, if
Yeah.
an evolutionist, right? Sorry, a creationist, right?
Yeah.
Was telling you about, like we need to make up words in order to describe the age of the Earth, and like when you look at it, the Earth is always like 6,000 years if you use the words that he made, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would
that's
you
fine.
would you not take into consideration the fact that he was a creationist when he came up with those conclusions?
Well, yes, but if I'm going to be having a conversation with a creationist about creationism, I'll use the appropriate words so that we at least know what we're talking about. I don't mind doing that at all.
Dev will surrender if under pressure.
So if a
Disgusting.
creationist invents a slur in order to stigmatize people who do not believe that Earth is 6,000 years old, would you like use that label for yourself?
Yes, proudly. I would wave that flag.
So if a
It's just words.
creationist,
It's
I
just
don't know,
words,
like
man. It's just
comes up with a word like denialist, and it's like a huge stigma, and they get
To
people
it.
fired for being denialists. Like, would you call yourself a denialist?
Yes.
Okay, well, I would just reject that word altogether.
Here's the thing. Basically, words are used to describe concepts, obviously, right? If there is a concept that means you're not trans, whatever that concept is, it makes sense to differentiate that from being you're not gay or you're not any other thing, right?
Mhm.
There's a reason that we say straight to refer to that concept, the concept of being not gay and not just normal, because we're referring to something very specific there.
I'm pretty sure like people would refer to the word normal for like until the 90s, actually.
For trans,
No,
I mean, for being like non-trans, I mean.
for gay.
Oh no, straight was in use in the 90s for sure.
Oh, okay.
So John says, cis, like most rotting axe wound nonsense, comes from groomers. Unironically correct, yes. The person who invented it appears to have had some rather interesting theories about how to raise children. Modern Republican says cis is fine. I would only see it as a slur if someone obviously uses it in a derogatory way. And that is part of the clue as well, because the
Service
reason
guarantees
why
citizenship.
Elon called it a slur was because it was clearly being used in a derogatory and hostile manner, which is where it is mostly used. I do still
Here's the thing, though.
disagree on the
I
banning
think
of
that's
the
fine
word.
though, Arch. I guess fine. Like if you want to call people slurs, go ahead, right? Like if cis is being used in a negative light to make fun of people who are not trans, that's fine by me. Use it. Go ahead. Just a word.
I'm more worried about the fact that it does set a precedent in that we are now using the tools of the left, because the left looks at us and goes like, okay, this is your word, we're going to ban that word. We're now looking at the left and going, this is your word, we're going to ban this word. And part of me thinks that's entirely fine. In fact, I think that the left should be actually genuinely, unironically abused for a period of time to be taught a certain lesson, because maybe, whilst being on the receiving end, they might look at themselves and go, well, this sucks. I don't want this to happen to me anymore. And then they might realize, oh, I did this to other people. That is my hope. But the issue is if we continue going down that route, because eventually we will simply become them, but the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Arch, you've now come around to my position. Welcome.
Disgusting.
No. I think like you can't do it for a little bit up until they come to the table and say like, all right, well, let's have principles.
Yes.
Basically, you have to do that until they are willing to actually give a little bit. Yeah.
Crush their testicles until they ask you to stop, and then listen to them. Like, okay, under what terms shall we cease? Mando says, Dev, my fellow Canadian, using the enemy's terminology cements it into reality and credibility. Just stop. Get some help. Owned.
Nah, it's stupid.
Destroyed.
Nope. Here's how. Nope.
Crushed.
Here's how you win decisively. It's when you beat them at their own game on their own turf. Otherwise, you do just argue over definitions. Like it's like, okay, they want to use the term cis to refer to people who aren't trans. Fine, I don't care. I'll still beat them all at any trans argument they want to put forward.
Well, what if I want to use a term and they don't like it?
Yeah. How about that?
Fuck them. Fuck them too.
I
Glow
mean,
in the
there
Dark
are
says,
a
Day
couple,
of the
but
Fiery Rake, Dev.
There are a couple of terms that I can't even say on this channel. You know,
There are several terms you can't say on this channel.
So they can they can decide which words I can't use, and by they I mean the activists. But I'm not allowed to go like, yeah, you know what, Elon Musk, yeah, sure, go for it.
Chats, are there any amongst you who are animators? I would like somebody to make this image on screen right now, but with a wavy Soviet flag in the background. That would be great. So John says, forest fires were caused by feminist firefighters. There was a rumor going around that it was a diversity hire firefighting crew that set the controlled burns as an exercise and then it blew up. That did turn out to be false, at least partially, as it happened days before the full-blown fires.
What's actually going on is that there's something like 30 fires happening across Canada right now, and one of them was that, but only one.
One of them was set by women, the others were set by God. 427R Book says, speaking as a chubby chaser, nah, they don't like us either. If you like a fat chick for being fat that's fetishism and haram. You have to treat them like they're the same as a supermodel. That sounds difficult. Margus Crixus says there are a lot of arsonists that have been caught. Well, burn Canada, burn. Urashima Otaru says climate crisis bullshit has been pushed since the 1800s. Correct. In fact, it was the great cooling down of the planet for a time. Midwest Finest says, V been cooking the last week, cooking with oil. Twitter Freaks has awakened the troll. He has indeed. Macworth11 says, at Dev, yes, acid rain is from sulfur in brown, low-quality coal. Makes sulfuric acid, destroyed huge forest in Czech Republic under communist rule. And then we figured it out.
That's true. Well, that's true, though, but, like, they were saying that in America, in Canada, in, like, developed countries, the same thing was going to happen, even though we had much better technology and higher standards. It just wasn't going to happen that way, you know? And it didn't happen that way.
Yep. Marksman of 117D says, the church can create the state to serve it. Correct. There is no such thing as theocratic fascism.
So you don't think that the state can create the church?
No.
Didn't the British king did that?
No,
like
he simply took the existing religion and then reformed it to serve himself better. He didn't create a religion.
Did he actually change parts of the dogma and stuff?
Only parts of it. It's basically
Heresy's the
putting
question.
people who are more
Fire
loyal
is
to
the
him in
answer.
charge.
Mm.
Sandoom says V and Dev don't understand theocracy. Time for an ArchCast field trip to the Middle East for some education. Yes. So John says socialism is a
guaranteed
communal system.
citizenship.
National socialism revolves around blood and soil. Jews with targets like the rich are targets for current year socialists. Yes, that is correct. All right. So I want to blow through 2 more topics super quick, and then we'll begin finally wrapping this monster stream up. We haven't even been going for that long, but it's so many things. So, let's see here. Can I find a good link for it? I take it you guys have heard about Disney firing their diversity executive?
Yeah.
Yes, so...
No, actually, I haven't heard about that at all.
Oh, I'll put it in the link channel. Disney's chief diversity officer, Latondra Newton, has been Yito-Cheetoed. She was there for 6 years, and she was probably responsible for a fair bit of the shit that was going on Disney. And everyone is being very quiet about why she left. She herself says that she's leaving Disney to pursue other endeavors. And Disney themselves appear to have not making any statement. So they haven't gone like, oh, she was a lovely employee, she's leaving us now for greener pastures or anything. Disney's just silent. It's like, no. Which suggests they were not parting on good terms. Now, a lot of people have been speculating this might be Disney doing a Netflix, where Netflix also yeeted a bunch of their employees because they didn't want to, try and get politics out of the entertainment, at least to some degree. And that is possible, and that is the hopeful reason why this is happening. But I will also point out that she could simply have been a terrible human being as well. Like, people get fired for many other reasons beyond being woke too.
I mean, it is possible, I suppose, but I mean, she was doing her job, wasn't she? Like if you fire someone and you do not just take away the position and you hire someone else, like, you're still going to get the wokeness.
Well, the
problem
is
isn't the purpose.
If they're hiring anybody else, because they didn't announce that she would be replaced by anybody, just that she's leaving.
Well, in that case, maybe you're right.
I do hope that this is a turn away from wokeism from Disney, though, because Disney has also been losing money like mad, and everything they've done recently has flopped. Secret War does not appear to be doing very well. The Flash is set to lose money. Now, it's a different franchise, but superhero shit in general, Marvel doesn't seem to be doing too well. The Little Black Mermaid did awfully, and the latest Pixar movie was a huge flop.
I keep hearing that it did good. There's articles saying that the Little Mermaid managed to make money.
There's some places overseas that it's doing pretty well, but I don't think it's the big success that they wanted.
Yep. No, because there are a ton of articles talking about how well it does. I have seen those too. It's like The Little Mermaid rakes in $117 million at the U.S. box office. That's actually absolutely terrible because it cost $250 million to make, and then it had $100 million marketing budget. So basically, it's still $300 million behind. And after that, the opening weekend, its numbers dumped. Estimates right now are that at best it might break even, but probably it's going to lose 20 to 30 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's not looking great.
It's not very progressive.
Not very progressive. It wasn't progressive enough either, as it didn't talk about slavery and colonialism.
Or kink. Did you see that?
Yep, I did see that. It didn't talk about kink either.
Like, what the fuck? Why would you want Little Mermaid to talk about kink?
Well,
I know, maybe he's into monster girls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he wanted to explore how the prince would bang the Little Mermaid in the sea. Under the sea. That's where it'll happen. So I think this is good news, and I'm very happy to see her go, and I hope that this is an indication that Disney is beginning to scale back. There was also, of course, the fact that they yeeted a bunch of their old catalog, too. Because you might remember Disney Plus lost a lot of its old catalog because, in the words of the CEO, it wasn't driving subscriber growth. In other words, it was shit. So maybe they're beginning to realize that woke shit is, shit.
Shit.
Service guarantees citizenship.
And we also do have to mention this one. There was also working on the Rey movie. So there was rumors that Rey would make a movie and that she was pregnant, which appears to be fake. Heavy quotation marks. But they are apparently making a Rey movie where she is going to be raising a new generation of female Jedi to fix the errors of the Old Order. Focus on Rey, who will see her train a female apprentice destined to emerge as the future leader. So if Disney is turning, anything currently already in the pipeline will still go the way of full-on woke garbage. Acolytes will be it, the Rey movie will be it, all of the... it's going to be 5 or 6 years before we see the effect of this departure, if any effect will ever be seen.
Well, I'm curious, if these franchises will even have fans at that point, because it is true, you can sour the fans to the point where they don't really care about it anymore. Like right now, you're telling me, oh well, they're making a new Star Wars, and it's like, okay, I can stay disinterested longer than they can stay solvent. So
very possible. It is entirely possible that they might simply chase away all of their fans. The question is if some alternative will emerge, because right now we are still somewhat lacking in alternatives. There is no new Star Wars on the horizon, for example. But that might also be because Disney is crushing everything that could possibly emerge under the unimaginable weight of needing to compete with Disney. So after the death of many of these franchises, we might start seeing something new emerging, which would be quite nice.
So, firstly, I don't know if either of you know anything about the old extended universe of Star Wars, but that was literally Luke Skywalker's storyline that he was supposed to do.
Yep.
Was to rebuild the Order and train a bunch of new Jedi. Secondly, the idea that Rey's apprentice is destined. Are they just going to pull another Destiny out of their ass?
Yes,
Is that what they're doing?
because, well, it's exactly the same as we discussed earlier today, right? It's okay when they do it. So they had to let the past die, kill it if you have to. That was them wiping out old Star Wars canon. What were they going to replace it with? Well, the exact same thing, but with their brand on it. That's what they're doing. Rey is simply going to become Skywalker now. Because that was always the plan, to replace Skywalker with Rey.
are people even identifying with that? Do you see Rey T-shirts? Do you see Rey memes? I mean, you do see Rey memes, but they're usually to make fun of her, right? It's not. But do you see Rey action figures? And because I remember when Darth Vader was a thing, everyone was like, oh my god, Darth Vader, and they had the helmet and shit.
Yep.
I see them all the time. The store shelves are just full of them.
Yep, that's true. There's a lot of Rey merchandise on store shelves across the nation.
So there's one final interesting thing I think I can share with you then. I'll drop this in the link channel. As part of what you're talking about, Arch, Star Wars has just cast its first ever transgender actor.
Oh,
do you know who it is?
No.
Do you know who it is, though? It's Philosophy Tube.
What?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that is the biggest virtue signal I've ever seen. That is awful.
Yep, just scroll down a bit. According to her agency, British actress Abigail Thorne is due to play Ensign Eurus in The Acolyte, making her Star Wars' first ever transgender actor in a non-minor role.
Literally. Okay, so after years of pandering to this community, they finally just went okay, what if we just put one of you in the show? Will you watch it then?
But why do they have to choose Philosophy Tube?
Well, I mean, we could... there is some baggage around Philosophy Tube.
Oh, there's a lot of baggage.
Yes. There is a little bit of baggage. So maybe this is a good idea, Dev. Maybe this is what we call ammunition.
So, Philosophy Tube is one of those trans activists who outright says that gender doesn't exist and you don't need dysphoria to be trans and it's all legitimate. And one of those activists that is actively destroying the goodwill of, let's say, non-activist trans people. You know, like people who just want to be left alone. This is Philosophy Tube is like poison to those types of people. And then of course there is the Philosophy Tube iceberg, where once you start like researching why Philosophy Tube transitioned, there's some weird history there involving some other people that maybe that's too much to go into for this one stream.
Yes, Philosophy Tube has baggage. So I think this is on second thought, this is a fantastic casting choice, as this is what we call content. Lots and lots and lots and lots of content.
So here's what's interesting, though. So if you read the article, it says, according to her agency, United Agents, British actress Abigail Thorne is due to... Yeah. So that link leads to her acting profile, right? If you click on it, the United Agents link. And if you look at it, I think you'll notice that it's actually gone.
Oh, no, it's
So
still there. I can find it.
Oh, no, I meant the actual...
Arch, I can't stay anymore. It's 3 a.m.
That's fine, dude.
You're falling asleep?
Good night.
Oh, sorry, V. Sorry for taking so much time, man.
It's okay. Thank you for having me, and bye bye, chat.
See you, V.
Good night, V. So yeah, if you go to the United Agents link, and you go, it's her profile in United Agents. You'll see like television, Django, Ladhood, Chivalry, The Prince, but I don't think you can actually see the Acolyte credit, but I think you can find it in an archive link. So I think what happened was either her or her acting agency put it on her resume without like running it by Disney, which is why it's gone. And maybe she's in trouble for that now. That's
Or
just speculation.
maybe Disney like got in contact, like they did hire her, but then Disney did their background check and they got a little bit too eager, so they put it out there, and then Disney sent an email. So we Googled you, and no.
No, you can't in fact be part of Star Wars.
Yeah, in fact, no. Indeed.
It's entirely possible. We don't know yet. We'll see whenever the Acolyte comes out. We'll see if she's in it. But it's going to be a shit show if she is.
That it will be. All right, and one final topic that I wanted to address too, because so I take it you've seen the Hunter Biden thing.
Just barely. I just saw some of the whistleblower stuff.
So
I don't know the full details of it.
there is a series of Hunter Biden WhatsApp messages that seem to have come from the three-letter agencies,
Service guarantees citizenship.
which suddenly started to do their job. That's weird, isn't it? It's like all of a sudden, all of them are like, oh yeah, we've got lots of details on these people, actually, and we're investigating them, and all stuff is coming up. Like, wow, that's nice, I guess. Where he was apparently... So this is a message. And Zed, if I get a call or text from anyone involved other than the new Zhang or the chairman, I'll make certain that between the man sitting next to me, his father, me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold the grudge that he will regret not following my direction. Message continued. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. So this was after, apparently, an arrangement that he had come to with some person by the name of Zhang, or the chairman, didn't come through. And he was then threatening them with what his father might do to them.
Yep.
So
how likely is it that those are actually real texts? Have they been doctored, or is that like you think it's real? What's the scoop?
We don't know. Straight up, like, we don't know at the moment, because there's been a lot of stuff that has happened very, very suddenly around Hunter Biden. He also was, he took a plea deal with his tax charges, which seemed like a lot of people are calling it a slap on the wrist. I don't know. Hiccups, U.S. tax law, so I don't know. But he was accused of not having paid taxes in like 5 years, or at the very least having paid them late, and also giving false tax reports for those 5 years. And his sentence, there was also something about getting a gun, etc. And it was all taken down to a misdemeanor, where he would serve no time in jail, etc., and would not need to settle any additional fines, just pay the additional tax he owed.
Right. I mean, that is the kind of thing that happens to connected people. That's nothing new, you know?
Here we go. President Sun will plead guilty to 2 tax charges and admit unlawfully buying a gun. That is a judgment.
Yep.
And you do have to put this in context with Trump as well. So Trump is currently charged for keeping secret documents, something that Pence was acquitted for, or well, he wasn't charged for. He was given the go-ahead to not be investigated any further. Biden is currently in the position of they don't know if they're going to investigate him, it seems like. And Trump is, of course, charged now with, 600 years in jail or something?
Yes. I did a long stream going over the court documents and going over all the stuff. The reason, ultimately, that Trump is having the book thrown at him is because when Trump was asked to return the documents, he didn't. And that's the difference, right? Because Clinton was hit with the same request. Biden was hit with the same request. Obama was. Bush was. Pence was. They all had classified documents they were supposed to return after they left office. All of them said, "Oh, sorry, my bad," and they returned them. And then, as a professional courtesy, the DOJ didn't pursue because they had the documents back. Trump didn't. Trump played with them for a year, and that's why they're throwing the book at him.
At least to an extent, because your argument is he was dumber than the other ones. And to a certain level, you are right, because he did do more mistakes. But also the fact that he is under closer scrutiny as well. They are digging a lot deeper into him than they are digging into everybody else, it seems. Especially considering Hunter Biden as well. They had him called. They didn't even need to do a plea deal, but they entered into one anyway. Because as you say, that is what happens when people in power get accused of things.
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely some like leeway for people who are connected, that's for sure. So basically there's like four separate indictments against Trump. 2 of them are like complete 100% bullshit. Trump's going to win those ones, right? One of them is, did Trump incite January 6th? If you listen to his speech, he did say, go to the Capitol and make your voices peacefully and patriotically heard. So that's basically going to be, like, he's not going to win that one. It's obvious. The second one was, did he interfere in Georgia's election by asking the Georgia Secretary of State to find him 13,000 votes? The way the phone call sounds, it doesn't sound like he's asking him to manufacture 13,000 votes. It sounds like he's asking for a recount in a very colloquial way. So
Yes.
Those are the 2 that, like, they're very clearly just trying to get something on Trump, and those 2 lawsuits aren't going to go anywhere. The third one is the Stormy Daniels payoff, and they're like very clearly reaching with that one, right? Because with the Stormy Daniels payoff, they discovered that, like, if they could prove that the Stormy
Citizenship.
Daniels payout, because it was done through his lawyer and improperly filed with taxes, but it was done to improve Trump's standing during an election. If under New York state law that counts as an election donation or a campaign donation, which it actually might, then that means that now it's a felony, not a misdemeanor, and then other crimes committed during a felony also become felonies. So like they're really stretching the law to try to get him on that one. So it's true that there's definitely elements in the government that they are stretching the word of the law as much as they can to try and pin Trump with something. However, for the fourth indictment, the documents one, they do just have Trump dead to rights. Like, he actually just fucked that up, and it's completely on him. If he just gave the documents back, he'd probably be in fine shape.
And a lot of people are now pointing out a bit of the differential here, because Hunter was caught pretty much red-handed, and he gets a plea deal. And Trump gets caught equally red-handed, and he's facing a few centuries in jail. Now,
Yep.
again, everyone knows exactly what this is. Like, they're trying to get Trump for something. They don't really care what it is. They just care that it's something. It's so long as it sticks, it'll be useful. And this,
That's
of course,
true. But here's the thing, though. You can tell that even though they are stretching the law, it's still not simply a kangaroo court. Because if they wanted, they would simply, like, if it was truly as corrupt as some people think, they would just invent bullshit and slap it on him and then bring him into court and say, you're guilty, fuck you, then throw him in jail for the rest of his life. Or just kill him, right? If this actually was a banana republic, it would be far worse than it currently is.
true, but they have invented shit on him before, like the piss document, for example.
That's true, but that didn't go anywhere because it was invented. So
Yes.
there is still some legitimacy in the institutions because they like, it's not like he's just being thrown into jail for no reason.
Yes, there is still some checks and balances here and there. Maybe.
Butters asked, do you know if they offered Trump a plea deal? They offered Trump several deals. He just had to give the documents back and he didn't want to. And it seems to be the case that it was just like ego for him. It was just clout, which is something that honestly I could see Trump doing. He is that kind of a guy.
The thing is, though, I don't think any of this helps. In fact, I think this helps Trump more than anything. Trump's biggest PR move right now would be to actually get arrested, and preferably as publicly as humanly possible, as it would play incredibly well with his base, which he now needs to mobilize and radicalize, because, I tell you, DeSantis is saying a lot of the right things. And he is very charismatic, and he might be a genuine threat to Trump's run in this upcoming election.
Yep. And also he doesn't seem to be fazed by Trump's style of just insulting everyone around him. DeSantis doesn't seem to care.
No, rather he seems to understand exactly what that is. It is a tactic to cause you to react, which is why DeSantis is not reacting.
Yep.
He's a clever guy, but that's also what worries me about him, because he's a little bit too clever, and he's already been caught on tape with his donors saying that he's going to do the hard sell, where he's going to be very conservative to begin with, and then as the election keeps going, he's going to get a little bit less conservative and a little bit less conservative.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, though. Like, if you have to appeal to a wide variety of people, it makes sense that you would drift to the center in the general. Like, everyone does that, right?
It does, but that depends on your definition of the center, doesn't it? I actually kind of enjoyed that part of your discussion with Nasser Erudite. Like, what is the center?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
Yeah,
very...
because Sargon's doing the sensible center thing right now.
Yes.
See, there was definitely a time a few years ago when I was definitely like more attached to the label of center than I am now. I don't really care about it anymore. For me, like I have some liberal ideas and some conservative ideas, and wherever that puts me, that's where I am. Right? I've had people call me, I've had people call me a leftist. I don't care if I'm a leftist. I've had people call me a rightist. I don't care if I'm a rightist. Right? It doesn't really matter because left and right they're just positions based on other positions, but like liberal or conservative or socialist, these are actual philosophies. It's a bit more important.
Uh-huh.
Unless you call me a communist, Arch, then we'll have to fight.
I don't call you a communist, Dev. My Streamlabs does every time somebody donates. All right, that was more of a side topic because it is exactly what you'd expect it to be. It is a son of a powerful politician, a wealthy politician, getting off with a slap on his wrist after committing an obvious crime. Like, whoop-de-doo. Genuinely whoop-de-doo. Like, this is not how the system should work, but it is how the system does work, and we all know it. And we all pretty much just accept and live with it at this point.
So, because Hunter, he isn't as smart as, let's say, Hillary, it may be the case that having the whistleblower testimony, if the Republicans win big in 2024, maybe then they'll actually have the political will to do something about it. Like,
possibly.
You and I were around back in 2016 when Hillary was like playing dumb during her testimony, saying like, "Did you wipe the server? What, you mean with a cloth?" Like, we all laughed at that comment, right? But that's exactly what you should do if you're in her situation, is you play dumb. You don't flaunt what you might have done in like under oath, obviously, right? Um, the main another big reason why they're going to get Trump is because they have him, like they have that phone call of him saying, here's a classified document, I didn't declassify it, do you want to take a look at it? And they have him saying that on a recording. Like that's that's intent. Like you never had Hillary say, look what I did with my server, guys. Like she was too smart for that, you know. So I think the reason that they're able to go after
Service
Trump as
guarantees
hard as they are is
citizenship.
because he was uniquely stupid compared to most other corrupt politicians. Like most of them shut their fucking mouths when they're doing something illegal.
That's not untrue. Right, let's see if I can burst through some of these last super chats then. Roll for Initiative says, climate change is the latest iteration of the apocalypse is coming, everybody panic and give me more power, not a new phenomenon. True, by and large. I am sure that there's a bit more science in climate change, because do humanity affect the climate? Probably. Like, everything affects the climate. Fucking trees affect the climate, so we probably have some effect, and we probably should look into it to figure out what's going on, but it is primarily used for give me power. Selic S says, there is already a term for normal. It's woman and men, male or female. Why are you qualifying it? Yeah, Dev, why are you qualifying it? Call me. He doesn't have an answer to that. He doesn't know what a woman is.
I do have an answer to that.
doesn't-
So basically, like you use different language for different conversations. That's just kind of how and we all know that that's how it works. Well, seriously, like if we're going to be talking about like a specific, micro niche topic, it usually has its own language that we use temporarily, but we wouldn't use outside of that. That's how every conversation works. When I say, if I'm talking to, let's say, a trans activist, I want to differentiate between trans women and women, I'll probably say cis woman because of the climate that I'm in, right? And the conversation that I'm having. But if I'm not talking about trans stuff, if I'm not talking about trans stuff, there's no reason to use cis.
In other words, you're a coward.
Well, no.
Yeah.
It means I'm adaptable.
Adaptable.
And I understand different paradigms, and I can use different
differential
lenses.
without a distinction.
No, it's absolutely true. So like Arch, if you and I were going to sit down and talk about like technology, we're going to use different terminology than if we're not.
Sure, but for this particular conversation, I'm going to do what Hillary did and say no.
Okay.
Jack says Dev is being a bundle of sticks about fascism. That's true. He doesn't have the cojones to embrace fascism. He must be.
Let's do it together,
instead.
Arch. Let's do it together, Arch.
Glow in the Dark says mistranslation. It says you shall not murder. In the Bible, I'm presuming. You shall murder? Probably. Artemis Fowl says, Arch, V wants to die by predator strike. Show him the image I sent you about the modified Hellfire missile that uses blade just to kill you instead. Well, I would, if it weren't for the fact that his soft, squishy body went to bed. Don't blow up his house. Y Huatan says, Wagner was apparently also dangerously close to taking control of a warehouse full of nuclear weapons in the first city they captured. Oh, well, that would have been unfortunate. Unironically, I don't think I want nuclear weapons in the hands of a bunch of mercenaries. Like, that ends badly in most video games and movies I've seen. Spiderpig34543 says, remember, Dev is wrong at all times and in all places. Correct.
No, absolutely not. There's one thing I'm actually wondering, like, I don't know if you recall, but a bunch of leftoids online, they were talking about the evils of Wagner because they're fascists, they're Nazis, right? And I'm sure some of them are. They don't seem like they're a good group, obviously, right? But how many of them are suddenly talking about Wagner as if they're saviors now that they turned on Russia?
I can give you a definitive answer to that, Dev. It's the exact same percentage of people who were looking at Azov going, Nazis, Nazis, Nazis. And then when they were fighting for Ukraine against Russia and Ukraine was the good guys, friendly fascists.
Yeah, it was really funny to see people on the left immediately go a 180 on Wagner as soon as they decided to turn on the Russian government. It was fucking hilarious.
Nightmare 5254 becomes a bridge god worshipper. Welcome to the ranks, sir. Rangi says, the issue, I think, is many of these eco-types need to justify their existence. They have overplayed their hands for decades. That is also true. Fortunately for them, we have remained idiots for decades, too. The Sugar Daddy says, Arch, please commission an art piece of Dev Guevara. Just think of it, Arch. It would be perfect. Dev Guevara. Maybe. The Wholesale says, I love how Dev said there's nothing to talk about with the feminist response to attractive female characters in gaming during Gamergate in Not So Erudite's stream, and V is still getting suspended. That's true.
Hold on. Because the V thing hadn't happened yet. When I was on stream with Not So Erudite. So I would have brought that up if it was relevant, if it had happened, but it's happened right after. Sorry.
Sandoom says, Arch, use bonking stick to end V and Dev ranting. Maybe I should. I should install a thing that plays a loud noise occasionally.
Yeah, it does seem like when I'm here, the podcast goes like an extra hour or two.
We're over that point now. Oh, V drags me off topic almost as badly, but the two of you drag together. Artemis Fowl says, speaking of hot takes, Dev, how's your pick-a-me take? Is Dev still on the opinion that pick-a-me is weak?
Yes.
There you go. Puppet Salt says...
I'm just trolling the chat at this point, obviously.
I'm late. So a follow-up of last week's comment about redemption. I asked my friend, since Endeavor could be redeemed, is it possible for Toga, Dabi, Stain, or Shigaraki? I go yes, no, respectively. Well, the difference is, Endeavor hadn't actually done anything that awful. Endeavor had merely been an asshole, whilst the rest of the League of Villains, well, they're mass-murdering maniacs. There's a difference there. Marksman of 117B says, the CEO was the youngest Sonic jet fighter at 19. The white guy quote is him using the current climate while referring to others like himself. He wanted savants like he was so he could cut corners. John McCalla says, a wombat. I didn't have anything to say, but I think this word sounds amusing. I like the word wombat too. It is a word that should be more frequently used because it refers to a fat little Australian thing. Sandoom says, Arch, please get bonking stick of silence for rants. Oh, they earn me super chats though. McWell11 says, we people in civilized countries exterminators wolf and bears, and we raise deers for hunting. That is why V is so flabbergasted. That is true. We have basically exterminated all of our actual predators, to the point that now we are, of course, turning around going, no. We would actually like it if there were dangerous animals running, wild in civilization. To the point that in Norway, we are actually building up a wolf population. Because it's like, wolves are pretty cute. Let's have some of those. So then the wolves eat a bunch of sheep and savage a farmer or two, and the farmers just look at them betrayed, like, why? To be fair, I'm of the opinion that we should save the wolf and shoot the farmer, because Norwegian farmers are useless, but that's just me. Marksman 117B says, V never had a random bear walk up behind him, stand up and randomly hug him in the middle of the neighborhood. Wild experience. What a trip. See, bears are cuddly creatures. They're nice. Glow in the Dark says, if you see a bear in the middle of winter, snow and all, whether it be white or black, that is bad. Get out of there. Forget what it's called. That is true too, yes. If you see a bear in the middle of winter during hibernation period, and it's still awake, it's likely very angry. It's likely quite pissed off at that point. It's not going to be quite as friendly anymore. Marksman of 117B says, Dev, pandas are like koalas, very aggressive, but their diet keeps them stoned, so they are friendly when well fed because they're stoned. That is so stupid, I believe it's actually probably true.
Bamboo gets them high, I guess? Is that how it is?
Presumably. Shoot Me Dead says, if an old white man surrounds himself with young, beautiful women, that's sexist, misogynistic, etc. But if he does it for diversity, everyone claps. That's a good point. Diversity in harems. Tunishi says, one of the families of the victims is Pakistani. They might go after the CEO's family. That might be spicy. Chadon5582 says, the bow is for Aerith. Sorry, context. WMMA Scene Now says, Zhu Xiaodong's life got ruined. He embarrassed Chinese traditions, so the government love at his social credit score. Can't even ride a train now. Yep, I did hear about that too, which is a real shame. He should come to anywhere else. Like, we will value him in other countries. He can come to Norway. I am happy with this sort of immigration. Base Shaman says, why is a mercenaries upset at their employer for not providing ammunition? I would assume the cost for ammo would be in the price for hiring them. This is like hiring a contractor and the contractor is upset he doesn't have nails. Well, maybe they didn't get paid properly. I don't know. Glow the Duck says, Dev did a double take when he heard Kibbs was going trans. I wonder if he's interested. Dev is looking for a side chick? Well, Dev, would you have intercourse with Kyle? If the opportunity presented itself.
No, not feminine enough.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that. I think Kyle is pretty feminine, but okay. Sandoom says, beat Dev with bonking stick of silence. No ranting.
All right.
This has been going long. Glenn the Dog says, Dev is a communist, and then Dev says he isn't while arguing over definition of what a communist is.
Well, I don't want to redistribute the means of production, so I think that counts.
This is one of our better memes, honestly. The Dev is a communist meme is one of our better ones.
The fact that it's gone, like, I think I've even seen them reference it on the Lotus Eaters podcast a few times.
Good.
It's gone that far. God damn it.
Yeah, I've got a picture of a wombat in the background because I do think that is a cute word. I'm just real quick going to Photoshop Dev's face onto the wombat. And then we'll superimpose it with the hammer and the sickle for consistency's sake. There we go. I'm very glad that I have learned how Photoshop works so I can do this relatively on the fly these days.
What's this? What's the last super chats looking like, Arch? Because I need like 5 minutes to set up my own stream.
We're not doing too bad. I can see the end. I can see the end.
All right.
I have a visual on the beginning of the end. And there we go. Much better. McWad11 says, Dev, you only need normal to describe 90% of the population. Cis is implying that the percentage is different and that trans and pedo is not a mental illness. Do not concede reality.
Hold on. I don't think it implies that at all. I mean, obviously being trans is a mental illness. That's obvious. Anyone who tells you otherwise, they're just retarded, right?
But when you give it a scientific term, you somewhat normalize it.
What?
I think
What do you
that is the argument, that when you give it a scientific term, like cis or cisgender, and you then also actively use it, that is a sign of surrendering to the ideology, and that you are now committing to normalizing this term that they have made up specifically to advantage their own situation.
I mean, maybe, but I simply view it as describing a thing that exists, right? Like, what is the word that you would use to describe somebody whose gender matches their sex, right?
Straight.
It's like, well, straight, but no, because straight
as.
is because straight is a sexuality, though. It's straight is regarding who you're attracted to, which has nothing to do with being trans.
Well, no, but it has to do with gender, because straight simply means you're a straight male or a straight woman. It describes the position perfectly. But the fact that it doesn't fit with this one subset is the thing, because now the subset goes, oh, we want a special term. And it needs to be a special term, and we can't just use trans because this is somebody else's term.
No, I don't think it's about the term being special. I think it's because it's actually describing something that is different. Because, having gender dysphoria and transitioning to be a woman when you were born as a man is different than a man who is attracted to a man. Those are two different phenomena.
I would compare it to a communist like Dev saying, I'm not a communist, I'm an anarcho-capitalist.
So
Or I am
listen,
a
wait a second,
environmental anarchist, a green anarchist.
Okay, so let's say someone is has gender dysphoria, born male, transitions, is a trans woman, but is still only attracted to women. That makes them straight.
That makes them 0
But
point something% of the population. And
well, sure,
at
but
that
what do you
point, I'll
call
be
them,
like,
though?
okay, well, you're an abnormal freak then.
Okay, but what do you call them though?
Non-normal. Not normal. Trans. Gay. I don't know. We have terms for this.
Well, sure, we do, right? But and we can use those terms. But that's why when you're describing the other state of affairs, you shouldn't use the same term as simply straight, because straight means something else. Straight does not mean that your gender matches your birth sex. Straight means that you are attracted to people of the opposite gender. Those are two different things.
That makes them a freak. I agree, chat.
Okay, that's fine, but what do you call? Yeah, they're abnormal. Understood.
Mental
Completely
illness?
agree. They're not the norm. Fine, it's a mental illness. What do you call it though? This is what I mean.
Crazy.
This is why you need no. This is why
Like,
you
I-
need
see,
a
the thing
term
is,
to describe somebody whose
this-
gender matches their sex, and that's cis, which is fine by me.
We are talking about a 0 point something% of the population. It's like, okay, do we need a term for this? Maybe. But the term we are using is a term that was invented for a very specific reason by a very specific individual. And we should probably reject that term. Especially as the term has also become a swear and a slur within the community who invented it. It literally, like, okay, let me flip this on the head. We need a term to define black people, but we don't want to call them the scientific term, so we decided to call them N-words. Like, that is the same thing here. Like,
Awesome, do it. I'm okay with that.
You're allowing the detractors of you to determine what to call you.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
That's dumb, Dev.
Ju-
That
you know
is
what?
seeding the battlefield, Dev.
No. Here's what you do. You do what black people did in the States, and you reclaim it.
Sure,
you
but I don't want to
reclaim the slur cis.
But they are not in a position of power over me. I don't need to reclaim it. I can simply reject it, and I can ban them from my Twitter platform.
So see, this is what I mean, right? Like, so if I'm going to sit down and let's say I'm going to talk to a feminist, right? I'm going to talk to a feminist about women's issues. I'm not going to say cis woman. I'm going to say woman.
You're going to
right?
say
Because we're
fellow
talking about-
communist.
it is a different situation. But if we're talking specifically about some sort of detail of trans ideology, then yeah, I'll use cis, because then it's more clear what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't really care where it came from. If it has some use, I'll use it.
Oh. You're a utilitarian communist.
Only partially.
Thomas Wayne says, thanks for the stream, lads. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, sir. Elsa Serrano says, Arch, yesterday in your video on V, you said it was easier to like, sympathize, and relate to attractive people. What about Fenrik Jürgen? The man is absolutely mad lad, and we all love him, yet he's ugly as sin. He's a book character, and he's only described as ugly. And he's mostly described as funny, which gives you a positive impression of him as funny. But if he was actually ugly and on the television screen, and he wasn't funny, you'd probably dislike him. Glow in the Dark says, IRS almost threw a couple in jail over 1 cent that increased due to fines and mismanagement on IRS's end. IRS isn't known for mercy. That is true. In fact, they use the IRS to go after, like, mobster bosses. But, you know, that married couple was not the son of a president. Sandum says, even if they get Trump, it'll make him a martyr. Correct. I genuinely do believe that his best option is to get arrested and then march around in handcuffs for as long as he can, and then put his mugshot on every single social media post across the country. Literally just print out 1 billion leaflets and post them everywhere. Wanted for political crimes, something like that in the paragraph. Matt Icy says, the piss files did go somewhere to a FISA court, which they used to surveil him by proxy. That is not impartial process. Good point. Warturkfy says, I don't see how there is any legitimacy given the law doesn't seem to enforce till now, but I had not seen Dev's video. Mr. Fancy says, I value both Dev's and your thoughts and your opinions a great deal on many things. However, when it comes to the subject of Trump, I tend to value Styx's analysis more. I don't know what his analysis is, so I can't comment, but you are, of course, free to listen to other people, even if it does mean that I might have a grudge. Maranga2 says, I love how Dev tries to defend himself, then all you hear is just, I have lost. Yes, I am quite fond of that effect. Glow in the Dark says, we need a term about someone denying that communist leaning so we can infiltrate non-communist communities to spread commie speech. I think we already have one. SFO.
Heresy's the question.
It's 3 letters
Fire
even.
is the answer.
Sandube says, why won't he stop? Stick of silence. Dev blood. Ah. And Matty Icy, the last super chat, says, Dev, regarding cis, I think Arch would say you're using the word patriarchy when talking to a feminist. It smuggles assumptions with it. That is a good way of putting it.
Here's the thing. So I can actually respond to that because you can. Okay, hold on. How am I going to word this? So you know about dog whistling, right? Where someone actually says, a more reasonable position, but they actually mean the underlying crazier position. People on the right do this, people on the left do this. The best way to combat that is to simply Chad yes the reasonable position, right? You get like white. You might like talk to like a Nick Fuentes type, like a white nationalist, right? And he'll say something like, "Oh, well, it's actually just about like European culture." That's what we're talking about here. Then you say, "Oh yeah, it is." So it's not about race; it's about culture, and then you make them be more forward with what they actually mean, right? So that's how I view the usage of certain terms from left-wing thought, is that there is a reasonable level that exists on the surface, and we can use that without actually buying into the rest of the nonsense. Because I don't buy into the rest of the nonsense. So if I were to debate a trans activist and I used cis, they would eventually, at some point in the conversation, have to rope me into doing something further, and I would simply say no. And then I would point out exactly what they're doing. So that's how I view it. Nick Fuentes isn't a Wignat. Dude, you're delusional if you think that Nick Fuentes isn't a white nationalist. Like, come on. Actually, no, here, I'll be more specific. He's a Christian nationalist. Fair enough. But still. He's a Christian nationalist who doesn't want black Christians in the Christian ethno-state. So, okay. Sure.
And in the time it took Dev to defend his position, 3 more super chats.
Well, I mean, I'm not even done defending it, in
Heresy's
fact.
the
But
question. Fire is the answer.
I'm making you more money, Arch. Are you complaining?
Andrew Jackson says, Russian civil war over as of 1 hour ago. Looks like it. It was a very short civil war. Remarkably short, actually.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Marksman for 117B says, copy Mel Brooks, call them Abby Normal. I don't even know that one.
What
So
is
John
Abby
says,
Normal?
a man can't go without a rotting axe
Heresy's
wound
the
girl
question.
and consider himself
Fire is the
heterosexual.
answer.
A man can't go out with a rotting axe wound girl and consider himself heterosexual.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. I mean, well, the thing is that like, there's a strange typography where like most of the conventionally attractive trans women, like the ones that pass and look like women, they don't get the bottom surgery, so they still have the dick, right? And so if you find yourself trapped by a trap, for example, and you stay with them, you don't like leave the situation, you actually end up staying with them, like Blair White's boyfriend, for example, you've got to be at least partially gay because there's a dick involved. There's got to be like it's like 5% gay or something, or 10% gay, even though it's someone who's very attractive. There's still a dick there, right?
There's still a dick there. At some point,
when
you
it
must
comes-
look at the dick and think that is a good thing.
Yes. So when it comes to people who actually do have bottom surgery, they have very hard times finding people who aren't also trans to date. So like
Service
they're like a
guarantees
minority of a
citizenship.
minority, frankly.
McRather 11 says, Dev is still in his debate me bro phase. Oof. Oof, Dev. Oof.
Awesome. Let's go. Keep sending super chats.
Sandu says, I'm out of money. Dev, stop ranting, damn it. All right. Well, I do think it is about time to wrap up there. Thank you all very much for watching. This was a very successful stream. Thank you to Dev for joining me, and thank you for V for dipping out early, that fat, useless, traitorous whore.
Make sure to either raid Kibbs or myself. Doesn't matter who, I guess. I mean, it should be me, but doesn't matter who, really.
Is there anyone else I can raid, maybe?
You always raid Stardust. She's playing with us, too.
Glow in the Dark says, debates never determine things, power and authority does. We don't live in a world of logic or rationality. Not entirely untrue.
I get the point, but I don't completely agree with that, though. Like, people are obviously swayed by good arguments as well as just power. It's not just power.
Oh, cute. All right. Again, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for your super generous donations and for sticking with us through this long and often random stream, and for continuing to stare at Dev as a wombat with a swastika on his face.
Heresy
God,
is the
also,
question.
I'm not
Fire is the
trans,
answer.
chat. Where the fuck did this rumor come from?
Okay, I'll switch it out with the trans flag next time.
Like, listen, it's not like being trans is an STD. It's not how it works.
Who knows? All right. Until next time, have a good day, everyone.